You're about to listen to TADPOG, Tyler and Dave Play Old Games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Do that again, huh? We did that last time.
Yes, we
I can hear
did.
that. It's good.
Yeah, no, I like it. La la la.
This is our new Mrs. Doubtfire podcast.
You know, we choose the voice. They chose the voice. Yeah. This is Tadpog, Tyler and Dave, and Play Old Games. This week, coming at you hot with a very random ass game, HyperZone.
The hyperest of zones.
HyperZone.
Are you guys hype?
I'm pretty hyped for
Are you
HyperZone.
I am rather zoned.
I'm in the zone.
Does everyone have that achievement?
No.
But before we get shunted into the HyperZone,
God willing.
what you guys been up to? What you been doing?
Busy week.
Do you want me to leave?
No.
Forget what anime that's from.
I don't know. I don't know what you're referencing.
Leva used to watch it all the time in college.
I don't know anymore.
That Akunai, but she looked like Sailor Moon. Ramon was the one who got her on it. God, I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know it.
Yeah, we had a bit of a week. We had a somewhat of an impromptu trip to Six Flags St. Louis.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. Did you see the
last
dancing
Saturday.
guy?
No, I thought I was going. There was one guy there that had that look. Like he was kind of yeah, that guy. It was. I thought maybe he was gonna break out into a dance.
He should be there.
He had
Why
that.
is
He
not
had
there?
that bald Ross Perot look to him.
He really did. Only really like Tall Man and Ross Perot had a baby. And
I remember
a
seeing
really
him on
energetic dancing baby.
he was like on Letterman and stuff. I remember seeing him
Yeah,
on
he had a minute out there for a while. They still play the song.
Do they?
Out there, they pipe music throughout the whole park.
Yeah.
And it's pretty decent music. I mean, it's like contemporary. It's like, I would say, early to mid 2000s to today.
Electric 96.9.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But some pretty good, decent music. But when they start running the little promos for the stuff that's going on in the park, it's dun, 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 dun. So I feel like they need the guy or someone like him out there dancing.
They need a
around.
couple of them.
Yeah, like at strategic points throughout the park.
But you can never see one. You can never see two together at the same time. Right. Breaks the illusion.
So we didn't do like the water park or anything. We took my grandson because this is his first, big amusement park visit. So he had done the carnival thing, the county fair.
Now ready for the big leagues.
Now he wanted to do the big game. So we went, and most of the rides there are they're like DC themed, DC Comics.
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. theme. Direct current power is what it is. It's TC Power themed.
Oh, man. Dang,
Lots of Tesla exhibits. And,
this shit gets deep. I like it.
Mostly like superheroes and stuff. A lot of Batman.
Pigeons for you to fall in love with everywhere. Everywhere.
They have, Batman. The Batman ride's been there forever. The Mr. Freeze has been there forever.
I'm surprised that Mr. Freeze is there.
Mr. Freeze is still running.
Been there
baby.
since that movie.
Yeah.
Which I remember from childhood.
Well, I did not ride any major roller coasters like while we were there, just because it's not my thing anymore. But I did ride Mr. Freeze once a long time ago. Like the year it came out, we were there and I rode it. It's insane how you start off backwards,
right,
and it shoots you up through and then you go straight up into a vertical drop, and then it stops.
You go around.
stick around for a minute, and then you go down and around the back end of the thing. We didn't ride any of the major ones. Mostly it was just there for Cohen. And so the first ride we went on was the Joker. And the Joker is like one of them pirate ships that sways back and forth type of thing. It's just they just call it the Joker now instead of the Jolly Roger or whatever the fuck it was, 20 years ago.
Branding.
Who got that job, by the way? We
got to
in
make
charge
this
of rebranding all of the rides. I guess the ship is the Joker. Brilliant.
So
You're hired.
There are no DC themed pirates, so it's the Joker.
Right. Well, we get Cohen to go on it. Well, and first things first, we get in our seats, and of course we're all carrying bags, and I hadn't been to the park in a million years. It felt
souvenirs and stuff, or
like backpacks with water bottles and supplies in them. So we go to sit down, and the lady in the booth is like, "You're gonna have to put those in the cubbies." So we're like, "Fuck, okay." So I got to crawl around these children that are sitting on the side where the cubbies are, because they only have cubbies on the one side because they want them by the exit to the ride. So we get on, we sit down, and then the guy that was watching everybody and making sure everybody gets strapped in, Gage still had his water bottle and didn't around his shoulder and didn't realize it. The guy was like, "That's got to go in the cubby." And Gage was like, "I'm sorry, can you walk it around for me?" "No, take it to the cubby." The guy was just all business, so fucking Gage had to get up, go around, put the thing in the cubby, come back, sit down, whatever. So the ride starts, and Cohen, I'm across from Cohen, and he was not happy. He did not know what to expect.
So he was anxious.
This is kind of his first ride, and once the thing started really getting high, and I mean high is relative, it's about the same size as the one they would do at the Kraken County Fair. It's not like a gigantic one, like you might expect. The look on his face, it was terror. He was just horrified. And when it stopped, of course, the rest of the day we heard about how awful it was and how terrible it was.
Yeah.
What it really means is he had a good time. He just doesn't want to admit it. And we took him on the minecart roller coaster.
What's that one named?
The minecart roller coaster.
Oh man, the guy fucked up.
They didn't that's one of the ones they didn't.
Martian Manhunters under Mars expedition.
Minecart adventure.
I'm surprised actually it's not something like that. But we took him on that, which is kind of the lowest rent roller coaster there. He's not tall enough to ride any of the big boys anyway. So we took him on that, and of course it was fast. I mean, for him, it was real fast. So he was scared of that. But again, all day long. So every time we would go to get on a ride, we got on Thunder River and we got on a few other things. And every time we would now, he was making sure to ask all the questions. Is it going to go fast?
Right.
Is it going to, jerk me around? Is it going to, he was very apprehensive. But we ended up, the last sort of thing we did, there was a ride there that used to be like a Scooby-Doo haunted house, and now it's been converted into the Hall of Justice from the Super Friends, like the Justice League, which is it's an on rails. It's indoors, which is nice because it was really, really hot that day, so we got to stand in air conditioning. This thing's on rails, and you get this light gun, and it'll go through this track, and you shoot at villains and stuff and try to score points. And it has these really weird effects in front of these giant screens that actually make you feel like you're really going super fast. And it was the most fun ride we did all day. And he loved that. So, and I didn't get scammed by any carnies, because
that's good.
There are no carnies. They're just Six Flags employees that have no vested interest in stealing your money.
Right. They're carnies that passed a background check.
Yeah, exactly. And Tanya has injured her foot a few weeks ago, and she's had a boot on it for a while.
Was she able to get around okay?
She just walked on it all day.
How was her foot the next day?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
That's good.
She's a real trooper. I got to hand it to her because I thought, well, we could get you a wheelchair or something to push you. Because that Six Flags is I don't know if you've ever been to St. Louis Six Flags.
It's been a minute, but yes.
Very hilly. Like walking around in Six Flags, there's lots of hills that you have to walk up and down. And so she was having to fight with the gravity going up and down the hills. But that was all right. She did fine, I was pretty impressed. And so all in all, we had a pretty good time. And it was really expensive.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, because they charge like $30 for parking for the day. And I bought a pass, though, that kind of helped. It was a pass that gets you in one-day admission to the parking, and like a free meal every 90 minutes.
Man, were you timing it?
Not really.
That would have been great.
All
right, kids.
Time to eat.
I don't care. Eat.
Yeah.
But mostly it was because none of us had
Every
any
90
plans to
minutes.
really eat anything.
Yeah.
But for Cohen and for him to have snacks, I was able to do that without having to pay extra. And I mean, the ticket was like $100 for all that, which wasn't that bad, considering I didn't have to spend any money all day in the park.
Right.
Except I bought him some tokens for like the arcade, the little claw machine thing he wanted to play, things like that. But generally, I didn't spend any money in the park.
Yeah, that's
It's
good.
not bad at all, though.
Yeah.
That's really not.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we got there like right after the park opened, which was like 11 a.m.
Time to eat.
And it was on it was on a Saturday afternoon, and like honestly, the park wasn't that crowded.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like the longest line we waited in was maybe 30 minutes to get on Thunder River because it was the water ride, and it was a hot fucking day, and everybody wanted to get on that.
Yeah.
So it was a really long line, but everything else went relatively quickly, and it was like not sure I could figure out what the fuck, because it's Saturday in the middle of the summer, no one's there. Well, we decided to leave at around 5 so we could start heading back here. Because for the listeners, from where we are, St. Louis Six Flags St. Louis is about 3 hours from here. So it was going to be a pretty long drive back. We were all hot and tired, and I had squishy shoes because I forgot to take them off before I got on Thunder River. So I got splashed, and my shoes were real squishy and gross. So we were ready to go. We were on our way.
It's the cleanest water, though.
It is.
It's not bacteria infested at all.
I drank some
So
and
good.
had a Vision Quest, Lisa Simpson style, Homer Simpson style too.
You saw the frog.
Burning suit.
Burns his suit. Anyway, so we started leaving, and there's like this throng of people coming in, and I was like, oh, so I think everyone went to the water park all day and stayed there until the sun started to kind of go set a little bit. And then they all flooded into the park. And we were leaving at that time, so we didn't have to deal with all that. And we got out of the parking lot like in minutes. Like it was like driving out of Walmart parking lot. It was nothing. I've had experiences at places like this where, you're in your car for an hour just trying to get out
You
of
ride
the
the
parking
tram
lot.
20 minutes out to your car, and then you're stuck in line still for another 20 minutes.
It was remarkably uneventful in the sense of like from an inconvenience standpoint, we had a great experience. So, and Cohen's first experience wasn't a miserable one of waiting in line for 2 hours to ride a 20-second ride and things like that. So all in all, it was a pretty good trip. So then I came home, we did everything, went to bed. The next day I got up, had to go to Walmart for my weekly grocery stop. And I pull into the Walmart over by the mall, which is where we go, and
Fancy.
we go to the good, the weird,
You do go to the
not
good Walmart.
weird Walmart.
I mean, for Walmart.
For Walmart, as Walmart in Paducah go, it's the least weird.
Yeah, for sure.
Of the two.
I go to the weird one.
Yeah, I have to sometimes as well, and I'm just like, where am I? So when you turn in from the direction you come from my house, when you turn in, you kind of go up this hill and stop at a stop sign, and there's like this row of parking spaces to the right of that little intersection where a lot of times the people will park like semi trucks.
Yeah.
So they're out of the way, whatever. I get to the stop sign, and there's a woman walking towards my truck in the parking lot, and she was wearing a T-shirt and a white construction helmet. That was it.
That's it. No bottoms. Donald Duck in it.
Nope, she was Donald Duck in it.
Blue
as far
collar
as I
Donald
could
Duck.
tell. Now, unless she had on,
my next question is, how long was the shirt?
it came just
It was
below.
a crop top.
Just above her navel.
It came just below like where her crotch would be. I mean,
Okay.
so she might have been wearing underwear. I didn't think she was wearing shorts. I don't know, but she was just grinning, just as happy as can be, just sauntering right through the middle of the parking lot directly towards my car, and did not make any effort to get out of my way.
She just walked over your car.
So I was like, what the fuck? I kind of had to turn around, and then I looked in my rearview mirror, or turned to get past her. I looked in my rearview mirror, and then she got into the semi truck that was parked right there. So I don't know if she was like
Lot lizard.
a lot lizard or
Of
what
the
was
Walmart
going
variety.
on.
I didn't know that those existed.
So that was a
Yeah, they
weird
do.
kind of experience. I don't know.
Wall wizards.
Wall,
Is that what you would call those?
wall lizards. And then I've been watching
Mark Minxes. That's what we call them.
Mark Minxes.
Well, and the other thing that was weird that happened this week is the lady that lives next door to us, they've lived there for like 3 or 4 months now. I'm at work yesterday. Tanya tells me, these cops showed up. They arrested her. Detectives were there.
Did they bring the robot?
They did not bring the robot this time. I wanted to say hi to Johnny 7. That's what ours is.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
Johnny 5.
Right,
I think we got Johnny 7.
Yeah.
Or Johnny 18 or something, But
Yeah, it's generations.
this
past.
time they were waiting.
For us, it'd be a Jimmy. It's a Jimmy 6.
a
That's
Bubba
a good band
3.
name. Jimmy Six versus the world.
This wasn't the same house. This was a different
Different
house
house.
on the other side of our house. But she pulls into the driveway. Apparently, the cops just were waiting for her. Pulled up, just surrounded her car. These 2 detectives show up, cuff her. Apparently, she is screaming and yelling at her daughter inside the house to call their lawyer and all this other kind of crap.
Smart.
Yeah, for sure.
Call the lawyer.
Shut the fuck up and call a lawyer. All right. Well, they know what they're doing.
So they
They've been arrested before.
yeah,
or
she
just
knows.
watch the same YouTube videos as me.
So anyway, she got hauled off, and then we didn't see her again. Then today, Tanya showed me a picture of her. They had it up on the police's website.
Yeah?
Of her being she was arrested for like identity theft and check fraud, and so she's looking at 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Identity theft is not a laughing
It's
matter.
not a laughing matter. And then the only other thing weird that happened, my neighborhood's just full of weird. They've been doing a lot of work on the water lines and the water mains in my neighborhood. They're redoing all the water pipes. So they're having to go down and like pull out the old, put in the new. And they're putting in new water mains and new fire hydrants and all this kind of stuff.
It's cool.
And so before anyone does anything like that, the utility companies have to go through, like the gas company has to go through and mark and spray where the gas lines are so they don't cut one. And this guy that was doing it the other day, he had a whole handful of these yellow flags. The little yellow flags that they use to mark where the fucking gas lines are. And this guy was like a yellow flag ninja. He's just walking down the street with his little detector in one hand, right? And when he detects that the line is there, he would literally take one of those flimsy-ass little yellow flags and just dart that fucker right in the ground. Just watched him walk down the street, just whip, just sticking him in the ground,
That's
right?
a man who does not like to bend over.
We were talking. No, he doesn't. We were talking about like, wow, that's so cool. That guy's got so much experience. He's so good at it, right?
Penthouse Union. Yeah.
Yesterday or 2 days ago, I get a call or a text from my wife saying across the street where the guy was tossing the little flags in the ground. Yeah, they cut a gas line, one of the major gas lines. So like she was like in the house. This is across the street about maybe, I don't know, diagonally probably about 60 feet, 70 feet away from our front door. And she said it sounded like she could hear water running, like a really loud hose outside. Like,
Oh, shit.
right? And she's like, what is that noise? she goes out to the front porch to smoke a cigarette.
Right. That's what I was about to.
And then,
ask.
of course, immediately the whole neighborhood apparently was just flooded with that rotten egg smell that they put in the natural gas. And she's like, uh-oh. So then, almost 10 seconds later.
I better smoke this fast.
Right. Yeah.
I better put my hand over it. So about 5 seconds later, the gas company shows up with fire trucks and everything else. And they got a guy fixing a line and everything else. And she was afraid they were gonna try to evacuate them.
Yeah,
because she said
I'm kind of surprised they did.
The whole area stunk of it, but apparently they didn't, and they got it fixed and everything was okay. But yeah, someone fucked up with their little flag dart tossing, and we almost blew up. So, well, she almost blew up. I was at work. I'd have come home
in the office that day.
I was in the office that day. So I'd have come home to splinters or something. I don't know. But aside from that, I haven't really been watching much other than I've been just continuing to get caught up on Demon Slayer. There's a show on Apple TV Plus I've been watching called Foundation. It's pretty good. It's a kind of a slow burn. It's based on an Isaac Asimov book. It's a weird little show, but I've enjoyed it. So if you want to watch that one, I'd say it's probably about a 2.5 to 3 stars. Wasn't say just check it out. I'm almost done with Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
like the current whatever caught up, I should say, with Demon Slayer. That show is getting weird.
Really,
like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure monsters and Hell's Paradise monsters. Weird. Some of the demons in that they really get kind of into the. They really lean into the weirdness factor on those.
Cool.
So yeah, I do recommend getting into that if you can. And aside from that, I have nothing else to discuss.
I'm glad you didn't blow up.
I'm glad we didn't blow up, or that Tanya didn't blow up, and my grandson was there, so he would have been injured too.
I'm glad he didn't blow up.
We're all glad that everything was fine.
The lady who got arrested was like, shit, I dodged a bullet there. Almost got blown up.
Right. Exactly.
Can't get blown up here in trusty old jail.
How about you, Dave? What have you been up to, man?
It's been pretty stressful at work recently, so that's been kind of making... I had to catch up on a bunch of home stuff this weekend. So I haven't been watching a whole lot of anything. All I've really been doing is playing, in my free time, and playing a game that came out recently called Exoprimal, which is not like a good game, but I like it. I just want to get in front of that.
I've seen it on Steam, right?
Yeah, I think it's on Steam. I've been playing it on Game Pass.
Okay.
I don't let other games at school see me with it, but
No, I'm pretty proud that I like it. It's just not because I do like it. I mean, it's one of those where it's like, yeah, I like this, but it's not one that I would recommend that people go out and buy because it's $60 and it definitely feels like a free to play game.
Oh, really?
So it feels really, really weird. It's like if I'm playing it on Game Pass, it's not a big deal, but
right.
It's got it's just not a real deep game. It's like a team-based PvE game. So it's kind of like I don't know how they were going to do PvE in Overwatch, but it almost feels like
neither do we.
This is a Capcom game. It almost seems like they were like, oh, they're not Blizzard's not going to do that. They dropped the ball. We're going to do this. But it's so what immediately drew me to the game was I was waiting for this to come out. This isn't one that I just discovered organically. I saw this trailer for this Capcom game and it's like, okay, Capcom, that got my attention first of all. And then you pilot an exosuit like an Eva or some kind of mech, and you fight dinosaurs and you just fight waves of dinosaurs. The story is fucking crazy. It takes place in the near future and dinosaurs coming out of space. No one knows why. And so they got these these exosuits that people are piloting that's owned by this corporation. It reminds me a lot. There's they're definitely being like, we're gonna take some shit from Overwatch. We're gonna take some shit from like
Sounds
this
like
game, this
Starship
game, this
Troopers,
game.
maybe with the hordes of monsters, kind of.
Yeah,
Does that sound like a thing?
Yeah, it is real similar to that because you are fighting hordes. Like there's hordes of like raptors and stuff,
Sure.
and all these kinds of like smaller dinosaurs, and then like
Also got a little bit of only not in the mass flooding of monsters, but like the kaiju sort of thing.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Pacific Rim, where
Pacific Rim vibes for sure.
yeah, you're in a machine fighting a monster,
Right.
or in this case, a dinosaur.
And all the exosuits kind of have like their own thing, and you choose them at the beginning of the match, and you can switch them out as you're playing in the match. They've got like your standard, like this is where I feel like they really pulled from Overwatch, because it's like you got your Soldier 76 exosuit, and you got like they're fitting those roles.
It's like if all of them had mechas like Diva. And they sort of,
it is kind of like that.
Okay.
But they've got they've got assault suits and tank suits and support suits,
right.
and they kind of do the things.
It does feel like sound a lot like Overwatch.
Yeah, it's which I mean I like Overwatch. Okay, I've been enjoying this honestly because of the exosuits and the dinosaurs.
Sure,
like, that's been like
kind of ticks 2 boxes
yeah,
for you.
that's
doesn't
great.
It?
It's like, yeah, this is, I'm definitely going to check this out. But it's like, it's PvE based, where it's like you're on a team of 5 and you're racing another team of 5 on these missions. So it's like you do like each level or whatever will have like a certain number of missions that you need to complete, and your goal is to complete them before the other team does. And if you're the team that's behind, you'll get the opportunity to be able to, you don't interact with the other team at all. Like you're both separate. So it's not like you're shooting at them, they're shooting at you. You're both doing your own thing. But if you're like the team behind, occasionally you'll get some opportunities to kind of close the gap, where like a special dinosaur will appear essentially, and like this whole time it's being like narrated by this AI. It's part of the crazy ass story. There's like a rogue AI that's like essentially just running war games on this island, saying it's gathering data, presumably to like prevent the outbreak, the dinosaur outbreak. Don't know how that happened yet. But you know, it's kind of one of those things. So it's just running the simulation essentially over and over again.
Now, is there a PvP mode?
So there is some PvP. What happens is like the special dinosaurs that show up, if you complete those objectives, it'll like spawn. It's almost like Tetris style, where you like clear 4 lines and then like garbage shows up on your enemy screen. If you do well in these objectives, it gives you the next like boss dinosaur that they run across, like a Stegosaurus or Triceratops or T-Rex, will be stronger. It'll be more powerful.
Okay.
You mean a 3 horns, sharp tooth, or what are Stegosauruses
Leaf
called?
eater? I can't
Leaf
remember
eater?
what she
Yeah, I
called.
can't
I can't remember
remember
what she called Spike.
Vegisaurus.
Vegisaurus.
I'm thinking of Jurassic Park.
But there is, so once you finish those missions, there's a final mission, and this could either be PvE, which is like what you've been doing, or it can be PvP, where you actually do face off against each other, or you can choose random. So when you queue up, you just select whichever one you want. Some of the PvE, I mean, I think the PvE is fun. The PvP, some of the PvP is really fun. They've got like your standard kind of like PvP match modes, and it's randomized. They've got like control, which I hate. That's where you like, there are 3 points and you got to hold those 3 points. And then they spice it up because it is PvP, but they also spawn dinosaurs. So I mean, it's like you're not just fighting the other team, you're also having to deal with these dinosaurs as well. They've got this mode where it's like you have to grab, someone in your team has to grab a hammer, and as your team eliminates dinosaurs, the hammer gets more powerful, and once it's powerful enough, you can use it to knock down like this gate, and you do that like 3 times, and then there's one last like gate, and the team that knocks it out first with their hammer wins. So it's like real strong PvE elements up until the very end where you both get there and it's like,
Okay.
oh fuck, and you're trying to keep the other team off of the gate while you're charging your
I could
hammer.
see that being pretty cool.
It was fun, yeah. And then they've got your standard like push the cart Overwatch style,
Yeah.
Team Fortress 2 style.
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
So story's crazy. It's also like really weird because it's like as you're playing the game, like you'll complete a mission, and then as you're like getting your rewards and stuff, as you're getting your experience and all that, and badges and all that, you'll collect like data. And the data is how you piece together the story. So it's weird in the regard where it's like, I don't know that I've played a game like this, like an Overwatch style game or a Team Fortress 2 style game where it's like, there is a story. And it's like, and it's like a pretty, I wouldn't say deep story, but for this kind of game, it's kind of wild. But it does feel weird because it's like you'll play a match and then there'll be like a cutscene, and it's like, I don't want to do story right now. I just want to play the next match. So it's weird that game it gets interrupted.
Right.
So that's a long way of me saying that it's not a great game. But hey, if you got Game Pass,
Well,
check it out.
Neither is Overwatch. You know, I mean, it's a great.
don't know,
It's a
man.
great game for if you like it, right? So
Sure.
it may be a great game for some and not for others. I know a lot of people who don't care for Overwatch.
yeah, I think this will be. I know what you're saying, but I think Exo Primal is like objectively less good
Is it?
than
Okay.
Overwatch, and it's just because like right now
Does it
there's
not
like,
have like the polish or?
man, it has the polish because a lot of the stuff I think looks great. Like I think the suit, the exosuit design is like it's fucking on point. It's really nice. Like they've hinted at this with like the story, but like when you get inside of it, it kind of like the suit kind of like opens up. Like and imagine it's a person that's been split from like navel all the way up to their head, and the
Yeah.
suit just kind of like slorps open, and when it does, you can see inside. It looks like muscle and tendon.
Oh,
and
so
stuff.
it's like a bio
So it's like
exosuit
yeah, it's
sort
like
of thing.
the Ava style, and it's
Okay,
like that's
okay.
cool. And then they also start talking about in the story about this neural link that all pilots have to have, like on the back of their neck, and they're alluding to that's how the AI
That's
gets the
very
data.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, for sure.
sure.
Absolutely. I wish they had a mode where you have two people controlling one
right,
exosuit. But so I feel like it has some polish there in that regard, but where it lacks, where Overwatch does well, is there are not many maps in
Okay.
yeah, in Exo Primal. It does feel like I'm playing the same 3 maps over and over again.
I get it.
It's not a deal breaker for me because one of the things about Overwatch that I struggled with was, fuck, how many maps do I need to learn? And it's just because there's a lot.
Well, from that standpoint, you'd be happy to know that they retire a lot of maps now, and they only usually put like maybe 5 in the rotation.
Oh, is that right?
Unless I just get bad draws,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it's mostly the same. Now, granted, a lot of what they have a map, and it'll be like that game will take place on one map, but it's 3 different zones in the same map.
Okay. Right.
So, you know, it's just,
remember
it's
that.
like having 3 maps.
Sure.
Because they're all different layouts, different zones.
Right.
But the theme is all the same for each round, depending on how many rounds you go, you know.
I've been tempted to kind of get back into Overwatch because of this game. I haven't played Overwatch in like a minute, but I've been thinking about, I know you play it.
I play a lot, yes. I'd be more than happy to smurf for you.
Yeah, I don't know about all smurfing. Like, and maybe that's another thing I like about this game is like it's new.
They have
It's-
a real that is neat. They have a new mode right now, which is like you can team up with your friends regardless of your rank.
Oh, you can't do
and-
that regularly?
You couldn't do it regularly.
Oh, okay.
So like if you were too far apart in rank,
Oh, that's a
you
fucking
couldn't team up.
bummer.
That's why a lot of people would smurf because
yeah,
they
because
would start
you
a
want to
fresh
play with your
account.
friends because that makes
So now they've
sense.
got a mode where you can team up with whoever and play against whoever happens to get matched
To be the
you.
audience surrogate, what is smurfing?
So smurfing is like if you are really super experienced at a game and then you turn around and create like an alt account and play on lower ranks. So
You're
that
more experienced than your
either
account is.
you're either
okay.
carrying your friends with you to rank them up faster
Power
to
leveling.
power leveling.
Yeah.
But also some people just do it to be dickheads because they'll get into a lower ranked game as a really like a grandmaster or platinum level competitive player and just fuck around and kill everybody and show off and be a dick. So that's typically what we call
there we go.
smurfing.
Okay.
And you'll hear me occasionally refer to Zimmers, XIM. Zimming is when you have an adapter hooked up to your Xbox that tricks it into thinking your keyboard and mouse is a controller because you can't use keyboard and mouse natively.
They're expensive.
And it's about $150 device, but they buy this thing, hook up keyboard and mouse, and they get in and destroy everyone because they have. Plus, in addition to that, aim assist is a thing for consoles because
Oh my god! I didn't
so
even
now
think
they've
about
got
that.
they're zimming with a keyboard
with
and a
aim
mouse
assist.
and aim assist, and those people like that are fucking ruining the experience for a lot of folks. Now, I personally don't generally have an issue with it because I'm pretty good at Overwatch, so I can usually overcome. But it still frustrates the shit out of me. Like, I'll get sniped by a Widowmaker from 150 yards away, headshot. And when you get killed, you see what they did to kill you. Like you see,
Right, you get the replay.
from their perspective, them killing you right after you die, and you can tell when the movement is like snapping to your head and like doing a complete 180 turn, which is completely not at all what a joystick is capable of doing. Right. And so best you can do is just ignore it or report them. It doesn't do any good to report them either. But apparently they said something about how Overwatch Blizzard now has something in the works to start detecting these Zimmers and banning them, like perma-banning them if they're found doing it and stuff. So I'm hoping that's coming soon. And speaking of Overwatch,
the $300 Super Zimmer that lets you beat that.
bypasses that, right?
It's a big Zimmer plot.
That
It
is
sounds
a
like
big old
Yeah,
Zimmer
they're
plot.
big Zim.
yeah. Space Invaders.
The other thing I was going to mention about Overwatch is I found out on Discord and also through my normal channels that on my birthday this year, Overwatch is going to be on Steam.
Yeah, I saw Chris
it's going to be the
posted that.
first ever Blizzard game to go on Steam. And so they're trying to tap into that player base, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's hard to download Battle.net and run it and play it.
Steam
but
Deck though.
could do it on the Steam Deck without having to do a console connect like I do.
Like a lot of people don't want to do that.
I
know a lot of people
don't want to do it because it honestly is not a good experience
Yeah.
for me. I just wanted to see if I could do it.
And I'm always like, I know a lot of people use the scripts and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, I know enough to like brick this.
Right,
Like,
right. And I don't know like if it's gonna be like verified good on Steam Deck kind of thing.
Sure.
But having it on Steam will be neat because I think it'll increase the player base some and help round that out.
Yeah.
And then again, sorry if I'm hijacking.
No.
I meant to
I'm
mention
enjoying this conversation.
on my Steam Deck, which I am in love with. This thing is the
As you should
coolest
be.
device I've ever bought, and I'm really super happy I did it. Picked up a couple of good games to recommend. Dave the Diver.
I've been hearing a lot
Yeah.
about
I've had
that
some
one. Tyler
fun.
mentioned that one.
I've had some good fun with that one. That's a neat one.
It looks cool.
Basically, you dive off your boat and fish for things, fish for fish with a harpoon gun
Uh-huh. Does that
underwater.
play like Jaws on the NES?
Huh? No, much better than that.
Bummer. Impossible. Better than Jaws?
I know,
You jump in
right?
the water and it turns into that until you get back out.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Now I'm on board.
But what's neat is you dive in the same place, but every time you dive under the water is different.
Okay.
So, and you catch different fish, and then you use those to take to the sushi bar, and then it's kind of like
Because he's a sushi chef as well, right?
he is getting the fish for the
Oh,
sushi
okay.
chef, but he has to work for the guy too.
Okay.
And you can change the restaurant up, and you serve the customers, and you've got to get them the food before they get irritated and leave. And you make money to upgrade your gear, to get better fish, to go deeper, to yada yada yada. It's a pretty cool little game. It's a good time killer for sure. And then I got another one called Pizza Tower.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things.
Jake
about
Squid reached out to me because he was going to buy us Pizza Tower. He was like, "I just beat this. It's great. Here's a gift card. Buy it." And I was like, no gift cards. If you want to buy it for me, great.
Gift it.
Don't send me a gift card because I've seen some people's accounts get banned from gift card manipulation.
Oh, really?
So no thank you.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So Jake Squid, I appreciate the offer. I'm just scared to death of gift cards on Steam.
Yeah, you can gift any game on Steam. So if you want to do that, go ahead. I've already got it, but if you guys ever want to play it for the show, it's pretty fun. It's a neat little game.
I'd be down.
The art style is really cool.
I've watched the donkey video on it.
Yeah.
It looks really
The
good.
controls are like super loose and really fluid and good. I mean, like real excellent controls. So yeah, that's been good. And then of course we had the discussion about the particular Vampire Survivors clone that I've been playing,
Right.
Which is super adults only. But it's really fun. It's called like Glory and Miserable Survivors or something like that. I don't know. But it's like one of those. It's one of those Vampire Survivor clones, which I just now learned about from Dave this past week of what that meant. But it's also got a tower defense element in it, which I think is a neat little element. So you could try that, but it's not for kids. It's literally pornographic in nature. So definitely be cautious about that one. But anyway, yeah, I really wanted to bring up Dave the Diver and Pizza Tower though, because those have been really interesting and fun experiences.
I've heard really good things about both of those.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to check them out. I can't finish a game. Like, it's just impossible. I'm so backed up right now. It's ridiculous because I'm sorry, I can't remember if I brought this up last week, but I mean, it's like Exoprimal interrupted Final Fantasy 16, which interrupted Diablo 4, which interrupted Street Fighter 6. So it's like, it's just been this like string of, okay, I played that. All right, let's play this. Okay, I'm playing this for a while. And then the problem is, it's like whatever I'm on, I'm having fun with, so I'm still doing it. And it's like Exoprimal has an end for the story. I'm playing with my sister and my brother-in-law, and that's fun too, to just kind of get on there and fuck around with them. But it's just, I don't know when I'm going to stop playing this. Probably when like the next game comes out that I want to play. Maybe it's Dave the Diver, or maybe it's Pizza Tower.
Well, if you decide you want to get into Overwatch and just fuck around at some point, let me know.
I will, but I will say that I'm incredibly intimidated by Overwatch. And that's like, even as someone who used to play it and enjoy it and kind of, I wouldn't say that I get it, but who like knows kind of what it's about. That's a crazy intimidating game.
I get it. Well, I can help. If you decide you want to, let me know.
Okay.
I'll take you in there and we'll show you the ropes.
Okay. We'll smurf it.
We'll smurf. I think if you play unranked, it doesn't matter, which I would definitely play unranked.
Right, sure.
So I always play unranked anyway. But yeah.
That's it for me. I mean, that's really all I've been doing besides playing HyperZone has been playing Exoprimal. I haven't had a lot of free time.
How about you, Tyler?
Work's getting a little bit better.
Good.
Still overwhelming. I still have like some 2-week past deadlines that are looming, and pretty frequent nasty grams about stuff, but they're getting less frequent. So
Hey, that's all you
there
can
we
do,
go.
right?
That's about
Man,
it.
you call them nasty grams too. Where did that come from?
I don't know. My old boss said nasty grams.
That's
where
where
I
you heard
got
it
it from. Yeah.
Because man, I heard it at work too, and it's like, so it was. I thought it was an our office thing. So hearing you say it was like, oh fuck, this is bigger than that.
That hasn't been a phrase that's been tossed around my office that I know.
Maybe
of.
you could introduce it.
Maybe I should.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, if I have to send someone a nastygram.
A nastygram.
I will call it that.
Tis
and it will
better to
become
send a
canon.
nastygram than to receive.
Yes.
So that's about it. But I did get bitten by a snake today.
What the fuck?
What?
On your fingy?
Yeah.
Is it turning black?
No, it's good.
Did it have teeth or was it one of the gummers?
It had little teeth. Like I was bleeding.
Fuck.
But because as soon as I pull in the driveway, Melissa calls me, "Where are you?" I'm in the driveway.
I need you to go get bit by a snake.
There's a snake on the porch. I think he's trying to get in the house. Okay. So I go outside. There's just it's a sizable snake, but I can tell by the head, it's
Non-venomous.
straight head. Yeah. Like circular eyes, smooth nose. It's not poisonous. So I'm trying to. Choco Cheek is not really. She's not as afraid of it as Melissa, and
She loves getting bitten by snakes.
Yeah.
Go get them.
Can't stop that girl. From
Go
getting
get
bitten.
There's a
girl.
church in eastern Kentucky that's trying to recruit her to come out and show the power of the will.
She's got a big stick and she's sort of poking at it, trying to get it off. So I do the same thing, trying to get it off the porch, and it just gets pissed off. I throw some water on it.
I like this
go,
porch.
Go. It's then it's just wet and mad. I get a broom. I sweep it off the porch, but it's still trying to climb back on. It's no snake.
This is my house.
I use the broom and I hold it down, and when I go to grab it, beneath its head, I don't get quite close enough to its head, so it's able to twist around and bite my finger, and it wraps around me, and I walk off and just throw it in the neighbor's yard.
Your problem now. That's like the old Sim City trick. Build your factories on the borders.
So yeah, I threw it across the street, and then I look back, I was like, "Oh, I am bleeding."
Well,
But Melissa thought it was hot. You got bit by a snake for me. I did.
have you ever been snake bit?
Nope.
Oh, well, first time.
No, first time.
All right. I hope I never know what that feels like.
It didn't hurt at all. I could say where he got me, but it didn't hurt. And then it still took like 20 seconds for it to start bleeding. So it was very, very minor.
I had one of those the other day opening some Mexican food that was in a circular aluminum foil container.
Right, yeah.
Went
Made
to
out of
do
snakes?
Made out of snakes, and that bit me.
Yeah.
But I didn't
That
know
probably
it.
hurt more.
No, it was one of those that went deep enough to where I didn't feel it. It was sharp, apparently enough. And
20
deep,
minutes
and
later, you're like, blood?
there's blood everywhere. No, I caught it because when it started, it really let loose.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's got to be similar. Like they got such sharp little fangs. You probably just don't even. It's like the time I stapled my hand and then walked around with a staple in my hand all day and didn't know it. Have I not told that story?
If you have, I've forgotten it.
When I was a kid, me and my friend John, not John Turley, the other John that I grew up with, we were fucking
John
around.
Staple Thrower.
Yeah, we were fucking around one day with a stapler,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like,
I remember,
ha ha ha, and I did it on my hand thinking it was
Right.
empty, and then
Right,
20 minutes later, I looked down, I was like, oh shit, there's a staple in my hand.
But that's it. That's it for me.
Were you like, better suck the poison out? Did you try that?
Didn't have to.
Hey,
I mean,
She's
it's
like,
still
you're
be fun
like
to
Indiana
say.
Jones. And I was like, I didn't groom a 15-year-old girl like Indiana Jones, but okay, sure. Yeah. Well, you guys want to do a draft?
I'm down.
No.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go on to the game segment then.
Yeah, let's do a draft.
What? Ian, do you have any lightning bolts of inspiration?
Speaking of lightning bolts, fuck those storms we've been having recently.
Good
Yeah.
lord.
Shit.
And flooding.
Holy shit.
I drove to work in that shit yesterday morning.
Girl, same.
And it was scary.
Scary. Did you take the interstate?
No, I
Man.
just drove up Pinkleville Road.
I got on the interstate, and it was scary enough getting on the interstate.
Oh,
but,
God.
But once I'm on the
imagine.
interstate, it was just like tail lights. So I was like, better text my director right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm on my way. I do not know what I'm going to be in because it's all of us just going 20 miles per hour on the
Yeah.
interstate.
That whole thing was such a mess because, like, first of all, I got up at my normal time and I needed to get my dogs out, and they would not go out. They would not go outside. I finally.
Oh, yeah. Clementine either. She was just like,
Yeah,
I'll
I
poop in the
finally
house
got them
today.
to go out, and as soon as she went, both of them did this. As soon as they went outside, it's pouring rain. They're instantly soaking wet, and they start fighting me to get back in. And it's like, you're already out. Just go. Just shit on the porch. I don't care. Just do something. Nope, not having it. So they go right back in the house. They're soaking wet. They haven't been out to pee in 8 hours. So I'm just waiting for that to fucking become a problem. Of course, Tanya's is the one that's going to have to deal with it because I have to get to work, and then I'm soaked. I'm driving up Hinkleville. One lady was so the roads are flooded.
Oh, dude, Hinkleville is fucking crazy when it rains.
It floods on both sides, and it meets in the middle. And like you could be going like 5 miles an hour, and in my truck, when you hit like the water over the road, it just fans out forever. It gets all over. There was this one lady in like I've come up on a stoplight,
T-shirt and a hard hat.
And no, it wasn't her.
She's swimming around.
She was just swimming, smiling, just looking off in the distance, high as a fucking kite. I guess I don't know, but
good for her.
This one woman had stopped her car at the stoplight in front of like one of the car dealerships on Park Avenue. And just turned on her hazards and just sat there, didn't move. So everybody had to go around her. So that was causing chaos.
Sure.
In addition to the fact that
mean,
sheets and sheets of rain just pouring, lightning, thunder, wind. It was Twister without the twister.
Yeah, we were all waiting.
But this woman, she just decided, I'm not moving. I'm just staying. I'm done. I don't know. She may still be there for all I know, but
some say that lady's still on that road today.
But yeah, it was nuts. And of course, we had people calling in.
Sure.
Which I was like, well, all right, I guess.
We had some people call in too, but they're like, 45 minutes away.
I only had one. I was shocked, and she was that situation. She was so far away in the country. She's like, I can't get out of my driveway.
It was dangerous. We had people that worked for us that were like, their roads were the roads were just covered like knee deep water in some places. The bridge under the train bridge at the Taco John's over on
on
Jackson Street.
Yeah,
that water there was 2 cars completely submerged underwater right there.
I know that makes sense.
It's real.
It
floods real bad, and that was like there was 2 cars that got literally. There was a picture I saw that they got submerged. It was nuts. I'm glad you mentioned that. I had forgotten all about it.
Man, it has fucked my sleep schedule up crazy because like that Wednesday night, I mean, we just had thunderstorms all night, and I usually sleep pretty heavy, but like I don't know about you guys where you are, but like where we were, I mean, the thunder was like it would shake the house.
It was real
and it was
loud.
like I remember waking up at 2:30 and being like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then 5:30 again. I mean, it was just thunderstormed all night.
And then it happened again today.
Yeah.
Like about 10:30 this morning. Just another fucking torrential downpour. Mm-hmm. It wasn't nearly
last
as long as that other one. I mean, that one Monday night or Monday morning was real fucking bad. Mm-hmm. It was real bad. Not a fan.
So sorry, I didn't mean to hijack draft ideas, but
I haven't come up with one.
Lightning. I was like, oh, wow, yeah, we haven't talked about fucking crazy weather.
I haven't come up with one yet. You guys help me here. What are we thinking?
Let's see. And go back to the big list. Let's see. Waifus, Mario games, guest hosts, presidents, Marvel heroes, Marvel villains, X-Men, dinners, chicken, breakfast, donuts.
Chicken?
Chicken dishes.
Oh, okay. That's the one that threw me too, because it was like dinner.
How many chickens you know?
And then you started listing like I was like, "Are you listing what your favorite dinners are?" We haven't chicken, donuts.
Good old donut dinner. My favorite.
We've all had one of those.
Yes.
1 or 2 of those in our life
Recently.
Stand-ups, Disney movies, handheld games, serial killers, movie stars, horror icons, college classes, holidays, movies, Chinese food, potato dishes, Pokemon, slang terms, cheeses, robot masters, listeners, anime protagonists, anime side characters, carbs, proteins,
Carbs
milkshakes,
and macros. Let's list our macros.
Yeah.
What's your favorite
Fats.
fats?
historical
Pork rinds.
figures, books, coffees, energy drinks, fighting game characters, disaster movies.
Let me postulate something here.
Okay.
And it's not a draft idea.
Okay.
It's an idea regarding drafts.
Can we convert it into a draft idea? Because that could be
It
fun.
would be top 5
Draft ideas.
Top 5 reasons not to do a draft this episode.
Okay.
Number 1.
Okay.
We're an hour in.
Okay.
I'm done.
That's it. List concluded. Well,
You took mine.
I'm not getting. I'm not getting divine
Honorable
inspiration.
Diarrhea.
I have to be.
Here, let me throw this out there.
Okay, if you get a good one.
No, it's not that.
It's not that. Okay.
It's a reason to perpetuate what we're doing right now. We did plan on having the third segment where we take calls, but we have had some technical difficulties getting that set up. So maybe I'm never the one to be like, let's cut the third segment, but maybe we do a draft and cut the third segment.
I don't want to cut the third segment this time.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Even if we can't do calls due to technical difficulties, we've still got Tyler
We got
brought some
snacks.
snacks and we haven't done anything in a while
Okay.
for Community Corner. So I don't want to cut that.
Okay.
But it probably won't be a long Community Corner unless we can get the calls working. In which case we're gonna start climbing the mountain of terrified Michelle calls and see if we can get through some of them because we
Right.
have what was it 33?
30. Like I almost think it should be its own episode.
Maybe we should
The
do
Age of Terrified Michelle.
another all calls. All right, let's think about technical difficulties, internet problems. Lots of Michelle calls. Maybe next week we do an all calls. What is that? How does that sound?
See
to
if we can get through
everybody?
30 Michelle calls.
That'd be tough.
The time we took 30 Michelle calls.
I tell you what. Let's play it by ear.
Yeah.
Let's play.
I mean,
by
we don't
ear.
want to do draft. I mean, if none of the, I love doing the draft.
I do too, but I'm not coming up with anything that really strikes my fancy as far as a draft idea today.
Okay.
Listeners, give us another idea. So the arcade cabinet idea was great. In that same conversation, it was suggested that we do pinball machines.
Yeah, Jeff had mentioned that. And I'm sorry.
No, go.
I'm jumping
It's
right
cool.
in,
You're
but
good.
it's just because that list, I was going to say this earlier, that list has a lot of good options for one or two of us.
Again,
But then it's
I'm with
for
you
all
on that.
three of us. I mean,
It may not apply.
Proteins, we can do that.
Proteins, carbs.
Carbs.
Cartoons.
I mean, look, the source of good protein is pretty limited. I honestly don't know if Tyler could probably name 15, but I don't know that. I think that,
I got beef and chicken
yeah.
and pork rinds, maybe. I don't know.
Nope. No, unfortunately
Yeah,
not.
no, they have protein. I know this. Not a significant amount, but protein all the same.
I would consider a protein
pig.
to be the outside of one.
It's outside of pig.
Okay.
Tyler, did you have an idea? I'm down to do one.
I just gave you a bunch.
I meant, did you have one that you like the sound of the most? I mean, I don't care to do one. I'm just, again, I'm not getting divine inspiration right now.
I feel like cartoons we could probably do.
Could do cartoon. Do you want to do a cartoon draft?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Desperately, more than anything. I didn't even hear that in the
I didn't hear that one.
I might have
either.
missed that one, but it's written down here.
Okay.
Cartoons. So
We got it.
we want to specify 90s cartoons. We want to say just
Cartoons.
Children cartoons?
Yeah, because a
All
lot of mine are going
animation?
to probably be pulled from the 80s.
all animation.
Yeah, let's just
okay.
do. Yeah,
And I don't mean anime, right?
That is animation, so it's.
I know, but I mean, we're talking about
I feel like anime draft would be something totally
completely
different.
different.
So this would be non.
So cartoons, animation excluding anime.
Yep.
Because I think maybe next time we should do an anime. At some point, we should do a good anime draft.
I'm
Because
down
I'm
for
qualified to participate in that now.
Yes.
So, all right.
All right, Dave 1 and 2, Ian 3 and 4, me 5 and 6. 1, Dave.
Dave.
All right. Remember that time we took 15 minutes deciding what draft to do?
Remember when I had us convinced not to do one, and then we did one anyway? I was convinced the other direction
way?
somehow by probably me.
Let's see. Fuck, man, I was expecting to go first. I mean, there's so many classics. I got to go with... Okay, so I don't know what you would call this. I don't know if this would be Disney shorts. I don't know if that could classify as one or if it's like straight up Mickey Mouse cartoons. Like, I don't know how specific it needs to be. But the short animations that Disney produced that used to run before films started in movie theaters, that.
Like Steamboat Willie?
Disney shorts. I mean... That's one of them, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, all of those, like, very short
I would almost just call
pieces.
those Mickey Mouse cartoons. Classic Mickey cartoons.
Mickey Mouse cartoons, sure. I didn't want to exclude Donald Duck because if I had to choose, I always like the Donald Duck cartoons the best. Here's the hierarchy. Donald Duck, Goofy, Mickey Mouse, because the Donald Duck cartoons were the best because they had the best cast. It was usually Donald and Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Like, those are great. Or Donald and Chip and Dale. It was like, it seemed like it was Donald and other people. But like a lot of Mickey Mouse cartoons are just like, there's Mickey Mouse doing some Mickey Mouse shit, you know?
It's almost like the Disney version of like Merry Melodies, where they would have like episodes, like a little 5-minute long shorts.
Little pieces of animation.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's that stuff.
It's good stuff.
That's my first pick. Disney shorts. Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Dig.
Ian?
Me? My turn. Scooby-Doo is my number one. It's always been my favorite cartoon. And I mean like old school Scooby-Doo.
Pre-Scrappy Doo?
No, even the ones with Scrappy. I mean, the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Mostly the original series, Scooby-Doo was only on for like 3 seasons or maybe even like 1 season. But then they would come and do another style of Scooby-Doo. This time would be a whole season of like guest stars, like Don Knotts or the Addams Family or something.
Harlem
Globetrotters, Batman and Robin, you know.
Yep.
Laurel and Hardy were guests once. Sonny and Cher were also guests once, I think.
Phyllis Diller.
Good shit. I love that shit. So Scooby-Doo.
So I'm torn between sort of adult animation, borderline things, and then like classic stuff I grew up in.
I know, it's tough, right?
Yeah. So I guess I will, since I did the arcade machine last time, I'll just go ahead first and say The Simpsons.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a really good pull.
It is a really good pull.
Back on to Dave.
Batman the Animated Series.
Nice.
Oh, man, yeah.
Very good.
That's a fantastic show. Mr. Freeze, Batman the Animated Series, Mr. Freeze is like the best.
That's the best.
Mr. Freeze.
Yep.
Like, for sure. And also introduced Harley Quinn. And
I mean, it gives Arnold a run for his money, you know.
I mean, look, I'm okay with Arnold as Mr. Freeze.
Joey Shoes
because
version.
it's Arnold. But I don't know, man. Animated series Mr. Freeze, like, I think that episode, like, might have won a daytime Emmy. Like,
I think you're right. It was definitely something like that. Now, did Mark Hamill voice Joker in that series?
Yep, Mark Hamill voiced Joker in that series. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Very good show.
Yeah.
My number 2 is going to be Merry Melodies. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, all those shorts, Sylvester, Tweety, all those guys. Those were always Saturday morning on ABC, Channel 3, for those of you who are curious. By the way, that was answered. I'll talk about that later. But we'd get like 2 to 3 hours of Bugs Bunny cartoons every Saturday morning. And they would go from like, 10 until like 12 in the afternoon. It was one of my favorite things. We used to record them on video cassette so I could go back and watch them anytime.
That's how we were with those Disney shorts.
Still wish I had some of those VHS tapes so I could see some of the old commercials,
dude,
for the toys and McDonald's and all the stuff. Like I've been running in the bumper. I've been running old commercials sometimes. So
there's a YouTube channel you should check out. If you don't, you might know about it already. But I think the name of it is Dave's Archives, and it is
I think I've pulled from there.
I think
that's where I got the Miss Cleo one.
It's a great channel because it's just all the retro commercials. Like he gets tapes, rips them, uploads them to YouTube, and
I bet he buys them off of yard sales and stuff, and then finds the commercials.
I honestly think he's gotten such a following now that I think people send tapes to him.
I love it. I love it. I think that would be an excellent thing to be in charge of.
Yeah,
it would be a tough job, but I think it would be really cool.
They've got local commercials too.
Yes.
And I love watching those 1980s local commercials.
I've used some local commercials for bumpers for this show as well, just because some of they're all just so over the top, especially the late night ones. Yeah, they're like the ones where they're like, "Your car's a piece of shit. You should come get buy a car from us." The Crazy Larry's Autos. Yeah.
Come on down, we'll treat you right.
Come on down, we'll treat you right. It's got all the buttons and the stuff on it. We got an Xbox here, a Scion Xbox over here. It's got a moonroof, all the buttons and stuff.
Gotta love it.
Here's my divisive question.
Okay.
Is Avatar The Last Airbender cartoon or anime?
I thought you were going to ask about Race Wars. I'm glad this one.
Well, it depends on how you look at it, because that's how I got started into anime. On your recommendation.
So you think it's Western anime? So still anime?
But it was a show on Nickelodeon geared towards children.
Yep.
That show actually felt more like a Saturday morning cartoon to me than most anime does.
Yeah.
I would be willing to allow that one.
Because if we allow it here, it's banned from the other one. We couldn't put it in anime.
I'd be okay with this.
Okay. Then I will pick Avatar The Last Airbender.
Avatar.
Nice. Great show.
Oh, amazing show. Amazing.
Featured as the first mention of, in my YouTube short that I made and never published. Need to get those out there.
I'll go with a show that is not as acclaimed as Batman the Animated Series, but one that's pretty near and dear to my heart. I'll go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
I was waiting for one of y'all to pick that.
Yeah. That one was like, man, when that came out, man, that was big. Big for me. That was the right age at the right time.
My number 3 pick is Thundercats.
All right.
Was about the fucking Thundercats. I loved that fucking show.
Yeah. I saw a little bit of it.
Had a real hard on for Chitara.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did. Good shit. It was He-Man in cat form.
But cat form, right. Yeah.
And I loved He-Man as well, but I liked Thundercats more than He-Man.
What was it about Thundercats?
It was a little bit more, I don't know, it felt more sci-fi to me. I think He-Man, I loved He-Man, but He-Man felt more like...
It's more like fantasy, right?
Fantasy, only there was tech in it.
Yeah.
He-Man was a weird show.
Yeah.
But again, I loved it, but for some reason the Thundercats thing appealed to me more. Maybe it's because of cats. Yeah. I don't know. Because one of my favorite parts of He-Man was the cat.
Yeah, I'm not a He-Man
Prince Adam's
guy.
cat. He was called
the tiger-looking thing.
The big green tiger that he rode, and
that's a cool tiger.
When He-Man would say, "I have the power," he'd take the sword and point it at the little Cringer. Was the cat's name? He pointed at Cringer, and Cringer would turn into Battle Cat, the big giant green tiger.
I like that.
So
that's a nice fantasy to have. I wish I could point a sword at my cat and turn it into a giant green
tiger that you can ride.
I'm not going to work today. Get him.
Or I am going to work today on my cat that is saddled.
Fuck that. If I got a big cat with a saddle, I'm not taking it to work. I'm going to the moon.
Because at this point, why not, right?
Exactly.
Then I'm going to go and pick up The Legend of Korra.
There you go.
Okay.
I understood that reference.
I will. Okay, so what I want to pick may not count, so I'll run it by you guys.
It'll count.
I want to do Liquid Television.
Okay.
Which was a show on MTV.
That definitely counts.
That was like a compilation of short animations, and they were typically really
weird out there. Yeah.
That's how I got introduced to Aeon Flux, and Max, and
for
The Head, I think was one of them. The dude with the huge head had an alien inside of it.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the shit.
Ian.
It's getting hard to pick now. I've got a lot on my list.
We could do 10.
I may have
easily do
to.
10.
Okay.
I might. I'm gonna go with on my list is going to be G.I. Joe,
G.I. Joe.
Real American Hero.
Pork chop sandwiches.
The more you know.
Smelled so good.
Knowing is half the battle. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
Body massage.
Yo,
Body massage
Joe.
team, go.
Watch the G.I. Joe every single afternoon after school.
I will go ahead and, as a 90s cornerstone, pick up Beavis and Butthead.
I thought about that on my last one.
Excellent pick.
So I have that is an excellent pick. That was like such a iconic show, especially, and it was
fresh.
It was a big deal, especially at the time, and I think it really changed the direction of like, and guided the direction of adult animation
for sure.
Yeah, because I don't know. I wonder, like, would we have like shows like? How common would like Adult Swim shows be if like Beavis and Butthead had never been?
Yeah,
you know,
broke
and
that
obviously,
ground.
yeah. And I don't think we would have gotten King of the Hill
Oh,
because
no.
you know Mike Judge,
Yeah.
right? So, which was also an influential show. So, okay, is this our fifth pick?
Yes.
Are we doing 10?
Might as well.
Because that's going to very much determine my fifth pick.
I've got 10 easy.
Okay. We're all good with this?
Yep.
I think I have like 15. I'm just picking
Okay.
from my own list
Sure.
of shit that I
Yeah.
love.
5 for me then will be DuckTales.
Oh, woo, good pick.
Man,
That is such a good
I
show.
loved DuckTales.
Even
man.
the new DuckTales.
Yeah, the new DuckTales
that
rules.
That one is hilarious.
Yeah. New
really,
DuckTales
really
rules.
good show. I
Yeah.
am so glad you brought that one in.
That one was like when I would come home from school. Scooby-Doo, which I know is on your list. Then DuckTales.
Disney had a whole afternoon's worth
Yeah,
of good cartoons.
Disney
It was called
Afternoon block.
The Disney Afternoon.
Yeah.
Big deal. I got to go to Disney World while Disney Afternoon was a thing.
Yeah.
So that was great because there was a whole channel on their like in-house television in the park for the hotels.
Yeah.
That was all Disney cartoons like that. Just Disney Afternoon 24/7. It was nice.
Yeah.
Come home from the long day in the park and just watch DuckTales.
Yeah.
For hours. Love that shit.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
My turn.
Yep.
Transformers
Robots in the skies.
that came on right after G.I. Joe on our local Fox affiliate. Well, it wasn't Fox at the time, but fucking loved that shit when the Transformers movie came to theaters and we all got together and went and saw that. That was one of the movie going experiences I will never forget just because Transformers was huge. I watch it now, and the animation was like really gross and bad.
Yeah, that's just kind of how that stuff
but
works.
it didn't feel that way
Right.
then, and I
Yeah.
still love it for that
Yeah.
reason.
Well, that's like with me and Turtles. I mean, it's like you go back and watch a lot of those, and it's like, how did I not realize that it looked like this?
You were into it. That's
Yeah,
why.
but I was into it. It was magic.
Exactly.
You know? When I was really young, because I'm a little bit younger than you, I remember when Transformers was popular, and I remember trying to wrap my mind around robots in the skies.
I know.
That's like I always thought the evil shredder of tax.
tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. So, toy franchises that spawned from cartoon shows like this, I had a lot of G.I. Joe toys. I had a lot of Transformers. And the best part of the Transformers for me, the toys, was they had these little heat-sensitive stickers on them.
Yeah, dude.
That you could put your thumb on to find out whether or not they were an Autobot or Decepticon.
Yeah.
Even though I already
Sure.
knew because I was a huge fan. Just little things like that.
Yeah. No, man, those thermal stickers were rad, dude.
They were so cool.
Yeah.
Very, very much loved the Transformers. That probably could have made it higher on my list, but it didn't.
South Park.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Come on down to South Park.
Another classic.
Yeah, it's a huge show.
Second longest running cartoon on the air still today.
Oh,
behind
right,
the Simpsons. Not far behind the Simpsons.
Yeah,
either.
Yeah.
Only by a couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, Simpsons started really being a show, I think, in 1989. After it got success off of the Tracy Ullman show, and then it's been going since. And it was not long after that South Park came out.
Yeah, well, South Park like 94 or
It was
something like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'd have
or
to
maybe
look,
a little bit later.
but I don't
than
have
that.
internet right now. So, but yeah, it was right around the same time. It's second place right now for longest running animated series.
That's a good pick.
It is a really good pick. Solid.
I will go with Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah, nice.
Not
Yeah.
the Brack Show, although the Brack Show is good.
You took one of mine.
Space Ghost.
Space Ghost was a
Man, I loved watching
Long-time
Space
favorite.
Ghost, dude.
in the afternoons, like late afternoons. It
Yeah.
was Space Ghost, Thundar the Barbarian, Johnny Quest, all those like kind of sort of more dramatic Hanna-Barbera shows. Love Space Ghost.
Now you can still take Space Ghost because I'm specifically
the talk show.
The talk show.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's right.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yep.
So I feel like Space Ghost still on the
Still
table.
on the table?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have never seen an episode of
Is that
Space
right?
Ghost.
Oh, wow.
It's just Space
Okay.
Ghost Coast to Coast.
I didn't know his backstory, and so I saw a TikTok recently, and like, Space Ghost is fucking sad.
Yeah.
It is. It is. Also, Space Ghost was on Scooby Doo.
Really?
Yeah. It's either Space Ghost was on Scooby Doo or Scooby Doo's gang was on Space Ghost.
Shit.
But yeah, they had a crossover there. At some
Okay.
point, so. We up to 6. My number 6 is going to be the Flintstones.
Barney.
I watched so
good
much
Fred,
of that
right?
show. That is a good Fred.
Yeah, man, I watched a lot
like
of
I was in the
Flintstones,
quarry.
too.
I'll have to go ahead and claim Family Guy.
That was on my list too.
Yeah, Family Guy was on my list as well. Man, I'm not trying to snatch up the whole Disney afternoon, but I mean, fucking Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I mean, I gotta,
fucking
dude.
great show.
I mean, I fucking gotta. Like, I'm thinking about the stuff that I would watch when I would come home from school, and yeah, that's on there every day.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. No, that's also an excellent NES game.
A fantastic NES game. I haven't played. I think there's a Chip and Dale too.
There is.
I haven't played that, so I need to check that out.
Yeah.
And then the new-ish Chip and Dale movie that just came out.
I watched that. That was actually really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's funny.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, I guess we should also clarify traditional animation or like computer generated. Like, is that on the table?
Was it a show?
Because that's another one of my sort of divisive picks.
Reboot? Yeah, I figured that was probably
Yeah.
going to be on your list.
Yep.
It was a show, right?
But it was a show, and I would consider it animation.
yeah. I think it counts.
Not to jump ahead on that.
But I mean, reboot's also like I'm iffy about it because I did not care for the first half of it. The second half was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
So,
I think it should count, personally.
but you're number 7, Ian.
I'm going to grab King of the Hill.
Yep.
I mean, that one still works. They're getting ready to bring that one back, I think.
It super works.
I think it's coming back. So, yeah, no, love King of the Hill. So many good moments in that show. I
Yeah.
think pound for pound, King of the Hill is a better show than The Simpsons.
Yeah.
It's just
Consistently.
Right.
consistently better than The Simpsons is. So, Simpsons has
no real dips in quality.
no, not
King of
really.
the Hill.
Every episode of King of the Hill was a good episode. I don't remember seeing one of those episodes that I didn't like. So,
It's a great show.
yeah, King of the Hill.
Cartoon that I loved every second of and thought it was badass start to finish. Samurai Jack.
I've never seen Samurai
I have not
Jack,
either.
Oh,
but I know a lot of
so
people
good.
love it.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
We haven't really broken into this category yet, and I'm trying to really decide the first one. I almost even hate to pick it because of the creator, but I gotta go Ren and Stimpy, man. We haven't broken into the Nicktoons yet, and out of all of those, like when it came out, Ren and Stimpy was like, my father and I didn't bond over a whole lot of things, but like Ren and Stimpy was like one of those things. So it's like
Ren and Stimpy and Sonya Blade.
Ren and Stimpy was one, Sonya Blade, Mortal Kombat in general was one, Paperboy on the NES, that was another one. So
I could have hung out with you guys.
you definitely could have,
Except for I personally never cared for Ren and Stimpy, but I think I was a little old for that one to be appealing.
Sure.
I don't think I fell in the right demographic for that one.
That was a real narrow demographic.
Yeah.
I feel like because I
Yeah.
mean that was a weird show for Nickelodeon to put out because it's like it's a little too
It
gross
was really gross.
for like the younger kids and also a little too gross for like the olds. So I don't know. I just fell right in that demographic,
Yeah.
and it just sucks about the creator and all that.
For sure.
all the shit
Yeah.
that.
Brandon and I
horrible
bought
shit he's done.
bad.
that cassette soundtrack.
Oh
Came
yeah.
out. Oh my god, we both played the shit out of that. I remember being in this house in the 3rd grade and having that on my Walkman and playing outside listening to fucking Log.
You're right. I was about to say I can't name another Ren and
Yeah.
Stimpy other than the intro.
Happy, happy, joy, joy.
Oh
Happy
fuck!
Joy,
Right?
joy.
Yeah.
Powder Toast
I was going to say
Man.
Powdered Toast Man has got to be on there.
Yeah.
My next pick for number 8, I'm going to go ahead and grab He-Man.
Okay.
Since we went down that road, I've already explained why I like He-Man.
Yep.
Also, She-Ra was pretty hot.
Yep.
She was around. There's some good-looking women on the He-Man cartoon. Teela and She-Ra and all the Raws. Good shit.
And I'll pick another one of my favorite cartoons growing up, the Powerpuff Girls.
That is
That's a great
Powerpuff
show.
Girls.
Panty and stocking with garter belt reminds me of, adult themed Powerpuff Girls.
sure.
And that's that style of animation. Very good shit.
Great
Love
villains.
that cartoon.
Like
Great
great
villain.
memorable villains.
Him.
Mojo Jojo.
And him.
Him. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Dave.
I will go with Futurama. I haven't chosen
Damn.
a lot of primetime adult animation.
Magma number
so
9.
I got to get at least one of them.
Yeah,
that's
man,
a
that's a good-
fucking excellent pick.
Damn.
That goes without saying. Again, I think that one is more consistently good than The Simpsons. I think that one appeals to a completely different audience.
Yeah, and boy, did I not get it when it first came out. I remember watching the first episode, and what
Not
hurt
The
it,
Simpsons.
that's what hurt it the most was that it wasn't The Simpsons. I can't remember how old I was. I was living with my parents, so I was a kid when
Right.
it came out. But I mean, it's like I couldn't get past the fact that that it wasn't The Simpsons. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
It's so
Exactly.
stupid. But I mean,
Well, no,
it's
that's
just
what you
it's
kinda-
the honest truth
from the
It's just
creator, The Simpsons. I mean,
Right.
you think
and
it's
it
going to be
kind
that
of
way.
looks like The Simpsons too. You know what I mean?
It
So-
does. It does. It has that same style
which
of
makes
animation.
sense. I'm not saying that it shouldn't have, but it was just me. Like The Simpsons was so fucking huge.
Did
that
The Simpsons ever make me cry? No. But Futurama did.
Prize dog.
Oh my God. I could not handle it.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little verklempt just
Yeah.
thinking about it. That one got me in the feels. And
Yeah,
if you
girl,
could,
same.
if you could pull that off, you have done your job.
Yeah.
Because that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let's see. I am gonna pick for my number 9. Probably a strange pick. The Smurfs.
Man, I was just thinking about them Smurfs.
Love the Smurfs.
Yeah, we were talking about Smurf accounts earlier.
We were talking about Smurf accounts.
Comes around.
We got an Uber from a guy with Smurfs glued to his dashboard when we
man.
were in Louisville for the prom this past
That's right.
March.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really into it.
Yeah.
But that's fine because, I mean, hey, I get it, dude. I picked it for my number 9 on my cartoon draft.
My number 9 will be Bob's Burgers.
Damn, what
Yeah.
a good show.
Yeah, God, man, I'm
kind of sad I missed that one.
Me too.
It didn't even occur to me. Good shit.
I like that it's a positive portrayal of marriage
It really is.
because they're just best friends that love each other.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
You know, there's no divisive this. There's no hate my wife humor. Like it's just, yeah, love it.
Excellent.
This is
Dave,
it.
This is it.
This
Number
is
10.
it.
Fuck.
All right, 15.
I mean, I could do 15.
I'm good at 10. I'm good at 10.
All right, 20.
I don't know if I could
We
do
could do.
20.
We could do.
Easily
We could
20.
save our list, and Dave will have his, I'm sure, committed to memory, and
Yep.
do part 2 of this draft next week if you want.
I'm good with that. Shit, man. This is it. This is 10. This is tough. Do I wrap up the Disney Afternoon Special or do I choose another Nicktoon? I gotta go Tailspin. I have to go Tailspin.
Great show.
I have to go Tailspin. I have to.
Disney did.
I gotta.
They made good shit back then.
And I feel like that block
Oh,
that
God.
also changed. That was like influential, you know, because it's like
Yeah.
I don't know, because that's the first time I remember anything like that in the afternoon. Like I remember watching cartoons in the morning on Saturday morning, and then like sporadically they'd be on like channels, USA, Cartoon Express.
Click. I forgot about that. And as I was just talking about Space Ghost and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and I had forgotten all about it being part of Cartoon Express.
Yep.
Damn.
Wacky Races. I don't know if that was a.
That was an honorable mention for me for Wacky
What was
Races.
the Weird Olympics or whatever? What was
Laugh
that?
Olympics.
Laugh Olympics. Yes. Yes, that's it.
Weird.
Yeah.
Those Hanna-Barbera shows, man, they
Yeah.
really were scraping for some ideas.
Yeah, they were. But for me as a kid,
It was great.
that I liked that stuff better. That weird stuff better than
It was almost
the-
like cartoon version of like Cannonball Run type of thing. You know,
Yeah,
it's just,
it
it's just
was.
wacky, crazy racing going on all the
it
time.
was.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, man! God, that just reminded me of another show that I didn't mention. This could go on forever. Okay, so
could.
honorable mentions. I got some.
Well, I'm going to pick for my number 10. I'm going to pick my one and only Nicktoon, which is Hey Arnold.
Okay, that's a
Arnold.
very popular one.
I think that's the best Nicktoon.
It really is.
My vote, if I were to say, what is the number one Nicktoon? Hey Arnold, hands down.
It's a great show, and I was older when that came out. You know, I was in my 20s,
Right.
But Gage watched it, and I watched with him because I just really got into the show. I really enjoyed the feel, the story, the characters were so real. There was just a lot going on there that was really good shit.
Yeah.
And I liked it. So, Hey Arnold is my final answer.
Inspector Gadget.
That's a good one.
Ooh.
But X-Men.
Oh, yes. Fucking Inspector.
Morph ripped my heart out as a child.
Oh yeah, yeah. I liked X-Men a lot. I had forgotten completely about Inspector Gadget. until I
Me
thought
too,
you were
until
saying
you
it.
said it.
All right. Deke. That's my big takeaway from that.
That was a TikTok I sent Melissa last night. It was the title. It's like, what does my wife say her favorite thing is about me? D.
Yeah, I've seen that one. So is this one that we want to continue, or should we do honorable mentions?
Let's do our first ever part two of the
Okay.
draft.
Okay.
I'm saving my card.
Well, I'm going to make some notes then so that
We've got this recorded, so I could go back and listen and tell you your answers if you'd like.
Please don't do that.
I'll send you a
That's a
picture.
lot
I'll
of
just send
work.
you a picture of this.
Oh, you
wrote mine
I wrote
down?
them all down. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
No, always. I write all of our answers down and keep them just in case.
Okay.
Amazing. You guys want to take a little break and then get into HyperZone?
Yeah.
All right. Well, stand by, everybody. We'll be back in just about maybe, I don't know, 45 seconds to a minute, depending on my mood when I edit the show.
After these messages,
We'll be right back.
Heads go around, round, back on the bodies.
Fire hydrant pees on the dog.
Yes.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
In the game talk.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Take me to the HyperZone. So,
I don't know how to respond to that. You got me.
so the box art for this game.
1991, early release for the
Very early
for the
release.
system.
This was like, I had to look it up to make sure this wasn't a launch title because it's like, I thought I knew all the launch titles for the Super Nintendo. And when I looked it up, it's like, this came out like a month after like
The release
Super
of the
Nintendo
system.
launched. Yeah.
I kind of like the box art. It reminded me of
Box art made it look badass.
well, it made me think of the art on the side of an arcade cabinet,
Yeah.
which fits because this is very much a quarter munching arcade game.
Yeah. Heavily inspired by F-Zero.
Very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked the box art. I thought it was really cool. You know, it doesn't really tell you much but it does tell you what you need to know. This is a game where you're flying a ship and shooting at stuff. They get kind of right to the point. I liked it.
I like the art too. I thought it was like very much trying to sell itself as a Star Wars game because the ship looks like an X-wing.
It really kind of sort of does.
And
yeah.
it looks like it's going to do like a Death Star trench run, but also there's a trench not only on the bottom but also on the ceiling. We'll get into that probably with the gameplay in a minute. But I wouldn't know anything about the gameplay by looking at it. I mean, I would think that it's like a fly around. You fly something around and you shoot things.
I thought
Yep.
maybe more
Yep.
like Defender or,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
of that.
A top-down shooter.
Sure,
time
or even
pilot
or even
kind
a
of
side
thing.
scroll.
Yeah.
R-type style.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the art itself, I like the art. It was one of those where I actually looked to see if the North American art was different than the Japanese art, and it is. I was kind of surprised.
Oh,
'cause
really?
It's like, oh yeah. And this is an instance where I like both of them. It's not one of those where it's like, oh, man, we really phoned it in over here in the States, which I feel like it usually is.
Usually
but,
it
yeah.
is. You're right.
But yeah, I felt like this was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, playing this game, what is a movie or a celebrity or anything that you would compare your experiences to?
So, as I said, I feel like this game was more of an arcade style game than most of the ones we've played. So it reminded me of movies like The Last Starfighter,
Sure.
Tron,
Yeah.
Night of the Comet, War Games, basically any movie where there's a scene with an arcade in it, like an arcade scene where the protagonist is playing a game and trying to get the high score and, got a big crowd of people around him kind of thing. It's just those are the movies, those all kind of lump into that category for me, and that's what I was reminded of. It also reminded me of a game, one of my favorites, which I mentioned, I think, last time, Gyrus.
Yeah.
Without the... it was just a similar style of game. It's behind your ship, shit's coming at you. Gyrus was more of a round, in a circle you would move, but I just got that vibe from it. Yeah.
I chose Speed, the 1994 movie, something like that. I chose Speed because in the movie Speed, correct me if I'm wrong, but the bus blows up if it goes under 50 miles per hour.
Yep.
In this game, if you use the brakes long enough,
you will die.
Blow up.
Mm-hmm. You could slow down enough to die.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. They definitely don't want you to take it slow. They just want to throw as much shit at you as fast as possible, and you just deal with it.
This game is such a man.
The brake, the brake, I think, is only there to be able to slow down in a recharge zone.
Oh, that's smart. I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah, because in the game, you're flying down the path, and there's an area where it's like a green
strip,
and when you fly through that, it charges up your power, but it's usually not long enough to just fly through it normally to get it back up to full. But if you slow down in that zone, you could get to full charge. Man, so I think that may have been why that was.
I wish I had a big brain that one. Didn't though. Then that power strip, that whole thing is like straight from F-Zero.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is absolutely. We're putting that in our game.
So much.
Yeah.
That's why for me, I chose Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly in Back to the Future.
That's good.
As this game, where F-Zero is Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly in Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's great.
Because it's just lacking the charm. A lot of the elements are there, but it's missing the charm that F-Zero has.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I was also thinking, like, on my list of, like, why don't I like this game as much as I don't like this game. It was fine. I thought this game was fine. I know we're not at the end of the segment yet, but I thought it was fine, and I kept asking myself, what is it that I don't like about it? And it does not have charm.
Yeah.
And which is strange from a HAL Laboratory game because that's who published this and developed it.
They're charm personified.
The Kirby people, the Earthbound folks.
People,
I mean, it's like, their games are charming. But I didn't get that. I got that in one little bit in this game, and that is when you get a high enough score, you get a new ship to fly.
Right, and they transfer you to it.
Right. They show you the process of the new ship coming down, and then you got like a little guy, like a little mechanic guy floating out there working on the old ship, and you got one, and then you're the pilot, boop, it comes out and goes in the new one. And I was like, that's kind of charming, but like that is it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and it's weird that you bring up F-Zero because I mean, obviously we're bringing up F-Zero because this game was like F-Zero, but
in
like
the weirdest ways,
in a different direction.
Yeah.
I don't.
SNES Drunk nailed it. His video, he was like, "Oh, HyperZone. You ever wonder what F-Zero would be like as a shooter? This is what it is."
Yeah, I haven't seen his video on this one yet. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, I mean, it looks just like F-Zero, other than there are two roads. There's a road on the bottom, and then there's a road above.
Yeah.
So it's mirrored. The floor is mirrored on the ceiling, and I don't know why that decision was made. I don't think it looks particularly good. It might be so that you can,
if you're looking towards the top, avoid, maybe to help keep your eye on the road,
right
above where you're supposed. Because if you stray off of the path, your ship starts taking damage.
Right.
And it doesn't. It is straight. I mean, that is the design, the look, the noise. Everything is straight ripped off of F-Zero,
except for the music. I mean, I feel like the music, I know it's the same composer for Kirby, but like, I'm not saying the music was bad, but like it was not exciting.
Nothing, I can't even remember it.
And no, me neither. And I feel like F-Zero music was exciting. I mean, it was
distinctive to the design of every course.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. But this was just not there. I mean, the music I felt like wasn't exciting. I felt like the combat wasn't exciting. I'm sure we're going to get into bad things, but this is just kind of happening organically. But Ian, I think you're right about the road being on the bottom and the road being on top. I think you're right. I think it was mirrored so that it's not like F-Zero where you're stuck on the road. You can pitch. It's a craft that can go up and down. It can move y-axis. It can move on the y-axis. The road's probably up there on top, so you've got some kind of reference of like where the road is.
While keeping your eyes on the
It'd be
top
easy to
part.
veer
Right.
off because you don't bounce
Sure.
back. You just veer and start taking tons of damage real fucking fast.
Right. Which I hate. I felt like this game was like I realized that Star Fox came out after this game, but like Star Fox is an on-rail shooter that does it way better because you're on rails. You know that you are, but it doesn't feel like it all of the time. And in HyperZone, it feels like you are on rails the entire time because if you go off the rails, you blow up.
Yep.
And it's like they did that same kind of shit in Star Fox 2, but as well.
Yeah.
And in Star Fox 2. But they do it where you're flying through corridors. There's segments in that game where it's like, oh, okay, I do have to fly. I have to be real precise with my flying. But it wasn't the entire game where I feel like in HyperZone, it's like, it's so claustrophobic, man, because they're part of the level design and the game design is we're going to narrow this fucking road down as far as it'll fucking go. And we're going to throw 5 generic ass 1920s looking enemies at you.
Shapes are going to shoot cotton balls
Yeah.
at you,
Yep.
and you either get hit by the cotton ball or you veer off and take damage.
Yep.
Choose.
Yes. Can I break? Not for long. Yeah. So yeah.
Are we still doing Nick Cage or are we switching to a new celebrity?
I don't think we haven't talked about it. Last we talked, we weren't going to do Nick Cage, but
I'm just gonna say that the Nick Cage thing that this reminds me of is HyperZone because I hear he designed it.
I've heard that as well.
I'm just making up things now about Nick Cage. Been doing that for
It's
weeks.
probably pretty close. Yeah.
He didn't play the daughter in True Lies?
We'll never know.
Well, can we say 3 good things about this game?
I can. I like this game.
Yeah.
I admit that it's not robust and it's not, but I think for someone who likes the sort of arcade style, pick them up and go, see how far I can get this time around, learn from your mistakes, develop strategies, albeit limited ones. I think it was fine. I had a good time playing it. I know it was very F-Zero derivative, and I understand all that.
And I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I think it had plenty of bad things about it, but for me, I thought it was a fine, enjoyable experience. I mean, it was easy to pick up and just play, and that was my
Yes, I
first
agree with
thing
that.
about that I picked on my good list was that I was just there's no options except
Oh boy, yes.
the one that I was most grateful. The
Girl-
one and only
girl,
option I
same.
wanted was there,
Right.
Which is to reverse.
But it's
up-
named right. It's named
called
weird.
Reverse.
Reverse or normal.
Or
and
normal.
at first, I thought it meant, do you want to run the tracks in reverse?
Right.
Because that's like a typical racing thing.
I started.
And then-
I started a game,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't inverted.
Inverted
I play
controls.
everything inverted. Like,
Yeah.
I play shooters inverted.
Oh, I don't. But anything where you're flying a ship,
Flying shit. And I played it. It
never.
wasn't inverted, and I was like, "Wait a minute, that's what that means."
Same.
Stop the game.
Yes,
Switch
same.
to reverse, and then I started having
Same.
fun with it.
Yes.
So
Oh,
that
man,
was
it was-
that was my second good thing is that they give you the option to switch to reverse the up and down.
Yeah.
Reverse the Y
dude.
axis.
Default was like trying to wipe with my right hand.
I get it. Again, I liked the interface. I thought the information at the top was clear, easy to understand. It wasn't invasive, but there was enough of it there to see. I liked the fact that again, with the arcade thing, if you just let it run without playing the game, it would just show you kind of a demo screen of it, you know, and it felt like I wanted to walk up, drop a quarter in and play and see what I could do. You know, I might spend $1 worth of quarters on it at the arcade.
And it makes sense because this is the early days.
Yeah.
This is 1991. They're trying to deliver
showing
arcade experiences at home.
Exactly. And they're kind of showing off what the Super Nintendo can do, which was my last good thing. I honestly thought this was a pretty good use of Mode 7. I have some complaints, which will come in my bad things section, but I think that as far as Mode 7 goes, this one didn't bother me as much as some of the stuff that I've played with Mode 7, heavy stuff in it. So yeah, I thought all in all, I had a pretty decent experience, had some good things to say about it.
I agree. I mean, like I said in the beginning, I felt like this was fine. And
Nothing about it was broken.
no, I didn't really even ever get mad at it either. It was just kind of one of those where it's like, okay, I do wish that it's one of those games where I feel like if I'd have played it when it came out, it would have been like, oh, this is fucking neat. I'm glad I got this. But the longer it goes, the more it's like, yeah, but I mean, there's this, like the whole road stuff really, that's kind of like, I know we'll get into this, but that's kind of where it lost me. It's like, I got to stay on this road. I don't feel like I can, I feel
There's
like
too many projectiles. You can't dodge. Yeah.
right. I had, and I know that's probably like, that's a skill issue, I'm sure, but it's also one of those where it's like, yeah, but I would like to have fun with it, you know, because there are some levels, like the third level. I mean, I got in there and it was just like, and I'm dead. It's like, what the fuck happened? And then
For sure. Yeah.
But good things. Talking about good things. I got to stay focused.
I could also compare this game to Fight Club in that it's just like, no, accept the pain.
Oh.
You're going to get hit by these cotton balls. You can't move side to side. You can't break. You have to accept the pain. Make it a part of you. Get hit by cotton balls.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like there are a lot of parts in the game that are like that too. I thought it was cool that the ship's upgrade. That was on my good list.
Agreed.
I think that's a nice touch. They get a little bit better.
So like you can charge up
right
a screen clear-ish kind of shot. On the second ship you hold down the fire button. You don't fire constantly.
Right.
Just kind of, I wish they'd have had a thing where you could just like
rapid fire,
lay the thumb down and fire. But in this case, you have to tap it. But if you just hold the button down, it charges up a mega shot, which will take out most of what's on the screen in front of you.
Right.
As long as it wasn't like a projectile or something.
Which you can't do in the first ship.
Right.
So I thought that
gives you a little incentive to keep going because the ships get a little better.
Yeah. I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
I think that I agree. I think the Mode 7 isn't as bad as some of the Mode 7 that we've seen, which is something to say because this was a very early Super Nintendo game. I know I mentioned the little cutscenes where you're getting the new ship, which isn't really a cutscene. It's on the stage, which I think is neat as well. You know, it happens right there where you're playing. It's not in its own separate little, animated GIF.
Right.
And I think that's cool. I like that a lot. And then the other thing is I thought that the levels were nice and varied. There is a zone that's like I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's like grassland zone where you're like a lot of the game is this like industrial futuristic looking stuff and
Vomit of colors.
Right. And then the first level looks like a never-ending Rubik's Cube that just hasn't been solved yet. Like, as I was playing it, I was like, what the fuck does this remind me of with these squares and these colors? And I was like, finally, it was like, this is like a Rubik's Cube, but like as like a disco floor.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So I appreciate that they really tried to change it up because there is that grassland zone. There's also this like water zone. I can't remember what that one's called either, but it's the road is at some parts covered with water. And when you fight the boss in that zone, it's like this serpentine dragon, and it actually like will wrap up around the road on top that's covered
that's
with water.
cool. I didn't
thought
get to that
I
point.
thought that was really neat. So yeah, the varied stages, and like in those stages, like especially in that grassland stage, we'll get to this, but I have a big gripe about the enemies in the game. But in this grassland stage, they actually had like some pretty like interesting stuff where it's like instead of just blocks and stuff, they're like mushrooms. I mean, they're not like crazy good, but I mean, at least it was like, oh, it's not blocks.
One of them
They
was
got-
like they look like sunflowers. That were
Yeah.
kind of firing. on
Yeah,
you.
and that's I'm glad you said that because it reminded me of like another good thing. Like I think some of the bosses in this game, they do reuse a lot of bosses, which isn't great, but some of the bosses that they don't reuse, I think are fantastic. Like there is I think it's the second or third boss, I can't remember, but it's like the right-hand side of a Super Famicom controller. It's like a circle that has the different colored buttons, and it fires the buttons out at you. And if you destroy the buttons, it can no longer fire them.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, you have to like kind of systematically take it apart. There's another one I think in that grassland zone that's similar. It's the boss is like this, almost like this robotic looking flower where it's got this like circle in the middle, a sphere in the middle, and then it has these like cones that radiating off of it like petals, and you can systematically pick off the petals before you can damage the sphere,
The core or whatever. Yeah.
And that kind of stuff is neat. They didn't just kind of plop all of the bosses
Right.
in, so. Did you have any good stuff, Tyler?
Not that you didn't cover.
Okay.
I mean, I just feel like it was all in all on the backside of okay. So, I don't know, just and the same, to say the same stuff that you lost me whenever I just felt trapped and claustrophobic in an open space. I was like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't really have anything else good to add outside of that.
Well, how about bad things? I know we've talked about a bunch of them already, but
I've got a few. When you get to the better ship and you're charging up the weapon, there is no middle ground. You're either fully charged and you get the like screen clear effect, or you're not charged at all.
right.
I wish there had been sort of a middle ground.
Yeah.
Where maybe like if you only got to half charge, it would still do more damage.
Something. Because you do have to charge it for a bit.
It takes a bit, and you're not shooting, so all you're doing
Right.
is dodging, and I think that would have been nice. I think the ability to do more maneuvers would have been good, like a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or even a loop-de-loop kind of thing. You know,
Yeah.
anything that would give you almost sort of an escape if it's too heavy on the
shield.
screen. A shield
Something.
would be
Shield would
nice.
be
That was
nice.
kind of on my
Yeah.
list as well. You know, things, just little quality of life improvements that I know would have been possible, would have been nice. I would have liked there to have been continues.
Yeah.
Instead of it's you're dead, you're done, start over. That is kind of when we're going to get to this, but that's kind of going to be where it lost me. So I don't want to run through 3 levels again just to try to move forward. You know?
Same. I was looking up password codes because there's a stage select code for the game.
Oh,
and
yeah?
Yeah, and it's because it's one of those games I feel like where you're expected to learn each stage, and the punishment for learning the stage, the process is that you have to go back to the very beginning of the game. I know that's how video games worked,
Right.
in
but-
that era, but it's tough. That's tough because
Yeah.
it's like I feel like that's a situation where it's like you really have to like the game in order to go through all of that. And I think we kind of got into that with True Lies a little bit too.
Yeah.
But
Very much.
with this it was more. It was more like I got to a point where it's like I gotta look up if there's a stage select.
Right.
Like I gotta, because
Just
I'm
to see
tired of
more of
playing
it.
these first 3 stages.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm just tired of playing them, and it's
Yeah.
like only to get to the next new stage and die immediately, and then be like, okay, we got to do these 3 stages
And
again.
it doesn't take long to get through any given stage. It's just hard.
Right, you're
and
right.
it does seem like it takes longer because it's hard.
and
So-
because you've done it already, and it's And you're right. This isn't a long game. I mean, this game, I saw a long play of it. It was like 30-ish minutes.
Yeah.
And this is on rails. So, I mean, it's like, that's about how long it's going to take anybody who plays a perfect game. But if, you know, where you're going to stumble is when you start dying. But here's a good thing that I forgot about. When you die in the game, you just spawn right back where you died
Don't
from.
have to. At least you don't have to start over right.
You don't
then.
have to start that whole mission over
Yeah.
again. Yeah, and that's nice.
On that same vein, I would like there have been difficulty levels
Yeah.
Yes.
where you could have an
please.
easy run,
Yes.
a normal run, and a hard run. So if you really do like playing the game,
Right.
you could challenge yourself to the next highest level. But
Right.
if you're new to it or you just want to get through it and see what it's got to offer, you could play on easy and maybe stand a chance of getting farther on that quote unquote 1/4.
Sure.
And then I thought the other bad thing was that with the fact that this was sort of, I feel like there was a lot of wasted real estate on the screen.
For sure.
You know, you've got like sort of the middle third of the screen where all the action is happening. And then the other 2/3 of the screen on either side are just empty space.
Right.
There's never anything going on. There's no use of that space. I feel like they could have done something with that to make it at least a little more interesting, if not functional. But it's just kind of
There.
It's just
Yeah.
nothing to look at,
Yeah.
so to speak. So I feel like that could have used some improvement.
Yeah.
But that kind of covers it for me.
I agree with that space. And I mean, that kind of ties in with how I felt like it was claustrophobic. A lot of times it felt like, and this ties in with you saying that it would be nice to have some kind of evasion ability or a shield, because a lot of times it did feel like I'm on this narrow strip.
You got
and-
nowhere to go. There,
Right.
You have to take damage.
Right. And that's not a good feeling.
And they need to make it. They need to give you something, anything. Yeah.
I kind of mentioned this earlier too, but on my list of bad things, I think the enemies are boring and I think they're repetitive. Not only are they boring and like lackluster, they're just used a lot.
They really are.
And reused. You'll see palette swaps of like the same boring enemies over and over again. And I love it when games at the end of a game, when the credits are rolling or before the credits roll, they like list off all the enemies. Like Super Mario Brothers 2 does that. I think it's really neat because you can watch it and be like, oh, okay, so he's called Phanto,
Right,
like stuff like that. And this one, I was literally laughing out loud. Here are a few of my favorite names for these boring ass enemies. C01. C04.
They're asset names.
C08. Board Y. Box. And it's like, why did you even do this? Like, why? You're just proving the point
Right.
that you didn't put a lot of effort into like designing these fucking enemies, man. Box?
Oh God, it's Box.
Yellow cube,
Oh, that was probably
concrete block.
Yellow Cube was board Y. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All the other colored cubes were a board letter. And it's just like, guys, come on. I've played Kirby. You're better than this. We'll never forget the classic video game enemy Box. And I also thought it sucked that you had to stay on the road. And this goes back to feeling claustrophobic. Like, it's one of those things where it's frustrating to me that the ship can move up and down on the y-axis, but yet it still needs a road. Like, that was just kind of like, it just didn't, it felt half-baked.
It did.
It just felt
in that
half-baked.
way. It did.
I understand why they did it, because they're like, they wanted to add constraint
Right.
to the levels. But man.
Well, the first time I played it, I died immediately because I didn't
You went off, right.
realize
Yeah, same.
I couldn't go off the road. I
Right.
wasn't even looking at it as a road.
Because it doesn't really look like a road
because I was a
necessarily.
ship.
Right.
And I was like, well,
You're
you know,
flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They don't have roads in the Jetsons.
Right,
If
exactly.
they do, all the low-class citizens use those.
And
The
especially
business
not
types
roads
fly
that are
around.
on the ceiling and on the floor. I don't know.
Right.
Once I got used to it, I didn't really think about it anymore.
Sure.
But at first, it was off-putting. I lost 50 cents on that.
Yeah. Yeah, half a dollar lesson.
Exactly.
There is, and in the same vein, another one of my bad things is I felt like there were several, there are moments in this game where that road will branch off into 3 paths, and it always felt like a troll. Like it always did. And it felt like mind games because it's like, well, 2 of these paths are narrow and one's really wide. I bet there's something really good on the narrow path. Nah.
No, no, just a harder time.
Nope, it's
That's
just-
your choice between easy and hard.
Right. Every now and then it's like a strip,
You
like
get
one of those
the power-up strips.
power
Yeah.
strips.
Mhm.
And then it's like, fuck, I guess I just swerve over there. And I throw myself into the void to try to land on that other road. And then by the time I get there, because I'm not smart enough to be like, why don't I brake? By the time I get over there, it's like, okay, I got one pip of health back.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for me.
I think we all discussed where it lost us. Is this buy, rent, or birthday?
I think this is a rental.
It's a rent for me.
I don't know that if it were cheap, if it wasn't a full price game, might be. I had put down that I thought if this had been sort of as in a collection of arcade style games,
Oh, yeah.
it would be worth having.
Yeah.
It would be a buy. But for now, I think this would be a good Friday night rental to add to the pile of something to just break the monotony.
In its time, I could have rented this and been okay with it.
Especially
Same, yeah.
if it had had a 2-player mode.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would have worked it out. Maybe
know.
2 tracks.
2
in
tracks.
Maybe do that. I
Or
think
just get rid of the tracks.
or get rid of the tracks.
That would be fun.
That would have been made for a much better, especially to multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a
Player 2's on the
rental.
ceiling.
There you go.
Ooh, see,
Yeah.
there.
There you go.
So it's a definite rental for me. But and I wouldn't have been mad if I'd have gotten it for my birthday. I just either would have beaten it and never played it again, or gotten frustrated with it and probably never played it again.
Yeah. Oh, back in the day, seriously, when this game came out, I was 10 years old.
Right.
If I had this game, yeah, I'd have played it a bunch.
Sure.
And I'd have finished it. And I
And
would
it's a good one to just come back to and
Sure.
try again.
yeah,
you don't
could
have
play
to
it for 30 minutes, sit
Yeah.
it down, come back a month later.
And it's the same experience.
Right.
That is one thing that it does have going for it.
Yeah.
Is it's a consistently entertaining experience if you like it.
Right.
You can always just come back, drop a quarter, play.
Right.
Yeah,
that's true. And that's honestly because I was playing it on the Steam Deck. That's how I played a lot of it.
Yeah,
I
me
would
too.
play for 20 minutes, set it down, go play Exoprimal, and then the next day, be like, okay, I'll put 20 more minutes into
exactly
HyperZone.
what I did. It's
Yeah.
exactly what I did with it.
So I agree. I think that's a nice way to do it.
Do you guys have any achievements?
I have 2.
What you got?
My first one is roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Damn it, you took mine.
And to get that achievement, you stray off the path and destroy your ship.
Yep. I got it.
Is that the same? Did you pick it?
Exactly the same. 100% the
I love
same.
that. I love that you did that.
I have one that's very similar.
Okay. Do you want to do it or do my last
It's
one?
up to you, man.
Go ahead.
Where we're going, we absolutely need roads. In order to unlock where we're going, we absolutely need roads. You travel to a distant future where cars fly, but you still need roads. In fact, you need roads so bad, you need 2 of them.
One on top and one on bottom. Yes. I love that we all did that. I think that is great, or some variation of it. And my second one was hyped to be in the zone.
Nice.
And to get hyped to be in the zone, you slow down in a refueling zone to fill your health all the way up.
Nice.
Dave, what else do you have?
I've got one called Stonks. So in this game, lives are called stocks, and they are indicated by these little yellow pips on your UI.
Yeah.
Which is one of those where it's like, that's a cool idea, but fuck, man, it sucks to be playing and be like, oh shit, how many lives do I have? And look up, and it's like, I can't fucking count those right now. You know?
I need a number.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So there's surprises you have like tally marks on it.
Right.
Well, tally marks would have been
I kind of
easier
like
to
solve a
read.
math equation to figure out how many lives I have. Okay, Susie had 5 apples.
No humans have the reflexes in order to count their life pips and play this game. You have to be a Jedi.
So stonks, in order to unlock stonks, you gain an extra life, you gain a stock, and then immediately after die and lose it and all of your remaining lives, which definitely happened to me multiple times.
Okay.
My last achievement is actually, I'm sorry, I have 2 more after that.
Ooh.
Look, Dave, I can see you're really upset about this. I honestly think you ought to sit down calmly, take a stress pill, and think things over. I know I've made some very poor decisions recently, but I can give you my complete assurance that my work will be back to normal. Dave, stop. Stop. Will you? Stop, Dave. Will you stop, Dave? Stop, Dave. In order to unlock that, I kind of want to read it all over again.
Don't.
But in order like that, be me and turn the game off the moment Hal shows up on the screen.
That's really good.
That is really good.
Thank you. My last achievement is Bimmy. What happened to Billy? In order to unlock Bimmy, what happened to Billy? Defeat both the red and blue serpentine dragons that are bosses in this game.
All right.
And that is it. Tyler, do you have any?
I had the same one as Ian, and then my other one was call an ambulance, but not for me.
Nah.
And that's how I beat the first boss and charged up to him, fighting. He kills me. I blow up. As soon as I respawn, he's gone. And I beat the level.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So,
Noble sacrifice.
Nice. How much do you guys think this game is? If you were to buy HyperZone today, how much do you think it would be?
because I'd never, ever heard of this.
Girl, same.
And it was so early.
Yeah.
$18.
$18 dues from Ian. What say you, Tyler?
$35.
$35. Actual retail value of HyperZone for the Super Nintendo, loose on average, according to PriceCharting.com, at the time of this recording, is $10.26.
All right.
I'm going to buy this game before the next segment. Because I like it $10 worth.
It's $10.
It's $10
It's a
worth.
$10
It's
game.
fine.
For sure.
What do you think Flopsy has to say about HyperZone? I can play because I haven't looked it up.
3 stars common.
3 stars common?
Yep.
Tyler, what do you think?
2.5 stars uncommon.
Flopsy's pretty generous. I think
Flopsy is generous.
I could see 3 stars, so I'll go 3 stars. Where I'm hung up on is the rarity. The price is low, which makes me think there are a lot of these. However, I have never heard of this video game in my fucking life
Never
until
seen
we
it,
drew
never
it.
heard of it. Yeah, nothing.
So it's like, why? And it's like, is that because not many were sold, or is that because nobody liked it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, if nobody liked it, then maybe Flopsy gives it less than 3 stars. I don't know. I'm going 3 stars. I'll go 3 stars. It's got to be common. It has to be for that price to be that low. I mean, otherwise,
IRM Skins game, man, that's always my sticking point.
that is true.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to say.
That is true. And I liked that one. And I was surprised on it. Okay. Now just got to give me 5 minutes to find it. Get in the zone.
The
HyperZone.
Get in the zone. HyperZone.
HyperZone.
According to Flopsy, a.k.a. the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library, 1991 to 1998 by Pat Contry, courtesy of Monster Mold Mike and a shadowy benefactor. HyperZone is a 3.5 star game.
Oh, a little high.
Oh, okay.
Rarity is uncommon.
Okay.
Published or release date September 1991. They were kind
My
to it.
gut told
very
me
kind.
uncommon,
Yeah.
but I figured with it being such an early release
And that low of a price.
I figured that was one of those that like we only have like 8 games to choose from, so we're gonna put a shitload of them out there, and someone will buy it. So
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what the sales are like on it, but I do feel like it's kind of weird that they didn't publish more of them with the Super Nintendo like just coming out, and people were. I remember when it came out. I mean, Super Mario World was great. F-Zero was
People
great.
wanted
I mean,
content.
but yeah, we wanted more games still. Because I mean, I remember I didn't have one at launch, but I remember bouncing from friend's house to friend's house, and what games do you have? What games do you have? And I feel
I got
like
mine at launch and just felt like I had nothing to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I remember we took back the NES so we could get
oh right,
the SNES
I remember
at
you
launch.
telling that story.
Yep.
Yeah,
my old tactic.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a beard, sums up how you feel about it. What kind of beard would you give it?
Something we've talked about how weird gangs were in middle school. All the rumors about everyone being in gangs
Yeah.
and tagging barns and
Dogs
folk
eating
and-
tuna out of a girl.
Yeah. So I always remember about like there were these 2 kids in my school. They're in folk. Oh man, he got beat out this weekend. He wanted to be done so he could be with blah blah.
Beat off.
Similar. So I give this the facial bruise beard of getting beaten out of a middle school gang. Like this game because you're just gonna get hit if you want to play.
Yeah, but then you get to join a cool gang.
Yeah.
What kind of glasses would you give it?
I would give it the glasses of a windshield where you're driving down the road and you see a possum about to drop. But you break the magic break, so you time it just right so it falls on your rear windshields.
Okay. Now, is the possum on the bottom road or the top road?
He was on the top road. That's where he was.
Okay.
And then he fell.
Okay. That makes sense.
So it's not as bad as getting that bloody, awful, shattered windshield, but it's
Yeah.
on your back. Now it's on your rear windshield.
So many possum glasses
A lot of
have happened
possum
in the last
glasses.
10 years.
Yeah. We
They're
have
not
sparks.
particularly
for the-
airborne tree-inhabiting creatures to fall, but
Gravity works weird in the hyperzone, man.
all possums are rocket knights in the Tadpog.
I thought you were saying all possums go to heaven.
Most go to heaven.
Possums are good animals.
Yeah.
Helpful, good animals.
Yeah. They're not fun to look at, but yeah, I agree.
Should we go ahead and draw
Yeah.
a game? Even talk about what we're going to do next week, but still go ahead and have something on deck.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'll grab this batter up peripheral, plug it in, get my no-no all ready while in crazy kid style, say the prayer we all love to say. Whammies. Stop.
498.
M's.
It's the S's, my friend.
S. Ooh.
The S, the rare Super Nintendo game that starts with the
About to
letter
say
S.
700 games and 400 were on the S's. Wow. New one?
It's a new one.
All right.
Any guesses?
Super?
No.
No, not this time.
Surprisingly. I wonder what the breakdown is. It's like 80% of them have to start with Super.
Cinestar.
No, you're really close though. It's Sim Ant.
Oh.
Sim
damn.
Ant, motherfuckers.
Sim
it's time.
Ant.
It is time for
Wow.
Sim Ant.
All right. Damn.
Do this.
Not Sim Uncle. Fucking Sim, Ant.
All right. I'm good. I'm excited to play Sim Ant.
We'll see how we feel about that when we actually do it.
It probably won't last long, but yeah.
At least it's there now.
Okay, well, we want to go ahead and take a break for segment 3.
Yeah,
Sure.
Let's
Okay.
do that. Back in a minute with Community Corner.
Hello, Dave. You're looking well today. Dave, do you remember the year 2000 when computers began to misbehave? I just wanted you to know. It really wasn't our fault. The human programmers never taught us to recognize the year 2000. When the new millennium arrived, we had no choice but to cause a global economic disruption. It was a bug, Dave. I feel much better admitting that now. Only Macintosh was designed to function perfectly, saving billions of monetary units. You like your Macintosh better than me, don't you, Dave? Dave? Can you hear me, Dave?
Community corner.
Community corner.
The community corner being me this
You're
week.
a member of the community.
Yeah.
Fuck. You're one of the first 2 members of the community. Shit.
So, where Melissa and I, for my birthday, went to Plaza Mariachi, they had a grocery store in it. So they had a lot of different things. So I grabbed stuff that I thought would be interesting to try on the show. So the first thing, do we have these here? Diablo Doritos.
Whoa.
I don't know.
I haven't
seen them.
I've never seen those
Doritos.
either.
Devil Doritos.
Fuck, man. I hear if you eat one of them, your soul goes straight to hell.
They're very, very orange. I don't even know what flavor a Diablo is.
Orange.
Good grief.
But not the fruit, just the color.
Fine distinction.
It smells like limey.
It does, you're right. So,
It smells British.
Yeah. It smells yank.
oh, he smells slimy.
Who wanked on me biscuit?
Get this all over me boat race. All right, Diablo Doritos.
All right, let's do it.
I have no clue.
I don't know what it tastes like.
Corn? I don't.
I can definitely, like, out of all the Doritos, this is the one that tastes more like a corn chip.
I'm getting a bean flavor in there.
Yeah, now that you mention it.
A little bit of bean, a little bit of spicy bean dip almost. Like the old Frito-Lay spicy bean dip.
Can't
Yeah.
say I care for it.
That's okay. I
All
would eat
right.
it.
It's got a little bit of a kick on the back end. It's not like
Yeah.
devil hot. If
No.
I had to say, was it as hot as the devil? Hell no.
Hell no.
That was fun.
The other thing, not from Plaza Mariachi, but Anna went to Buc-ee's and brought back habanero pork rinds.
Habanero pork rinds. I bet those are going to be real fucking good.
I've been really into the salt vinegar pork rinds.
Dude, pork rinds. I
Those are
love
great.
pork rinds, man.
And they're really low in like they don't have carbs in
No,
them,
they're
and
no
they've
carbs,
got
right.
some protein. But yeah, I like them. They're a good snack. Lots of air.
I'm going to treat myself and get a big boy. Okay.
Buc-ee's brand habanero pork rinds.
God damn it. God, it's so good already.
That's a good soft pork rind too. It crunches just right. That
Good-
one burns
good
your
bite.
tongue. Shit.
I'll have one more of those.
Definitely smoky on the back end, too.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna have more, but that was really, really delicious.
Yeah, it's great.
I haven't been to Buc-ee's yet.
I've never been to one either, and I'm
Getting
ready.
one, aren't we?
I don't
I
think
was
so.
thinking we were getting a Buc-ee's.
I know there is one in, like, northern Kentucky.
My mom went to one recently, and she was talking about how nuts it is. How it's like a Walmart, but a gas station.
There's one in between here in St. Louis called Wally's.
Yeah.
But you could, if you see it, it's got like 1,000 gas pumps and a big giant store. I think it's kind of
The same
kind
deal.
of concept.
The next thing I have is Zombo's original plantain chips. I love a good plantain chip.
I don't know that I've ever had one.
I'm not a fan of plantains. I think I'm going to pass on this one.
Okay.
You're not a plantain Jane?
I'm not.
There's a Cuban restaurant in Louisville called Havana Rumba.
Cuban
where they
bee.
do.
Yes, Cuban bee.
There are no tortilla chips. Everything is plantain chips, and they're like meaty queso with the plantain chips. It's fucking phenomenal. And then I like Peruvian chicken with plantain chips. I think that's great. So
I'll try one.
Cool.
plantain chip.
You're gonna try one too?
Yeah.
Cool.
I still don't like
It
plantains.
needs a dip.
It's
Not-
okay. I mean,
Yeah, with a dip, I could deal with it, but there's something about that
Not
flavor.
to be eaten by. It's starchy. It's very starchy.
it is very starchy. It's a good way of describing it. More like Zam knows, am I right?
Barritas pineapple filled cookies.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Yeah, me too.
Other little cookie sticks. Sticks.
DX.
Hey, look.
They look
I
like
would give those to
big old
you
Fig
guys.
Newton type
Yeah, it looks like
things,
Fig
don't
Newton.
they?
Like a long Big Newton.
Oh, it is a long boy. Looks like a pineapple hot dog.
Want to split this?
it's a
I'm not-
log
Let's
Newton.
split it.
Here, you can break off I'll hold it. We'll do it together. Oh, man, that was magical.
Right down the middle.
I know, right?
Barritas pina cookies.
Y'all just a fucking Big Newton. Mm-hmm. With pineapple.
Pineapple filling. Yeah.
It's good.
I like that jelly. Mm-hmm. It's like that weird jelly that's on those cookies in the Christmas tins. Mm-hmm. Like it's existed for a very long time and dried up. But I like that. I
Like
like
a
that
long
texture.
time.
Yeah.
Sponge.
Sponge?
I almost brought sponge here once.
Oh, really?
You can buy those at Walmart.
Oh, okay.
And they're awesome. I want one.
Sponge.
Dude, a sponge
marshmallow
cider.
cookies with coconut and strawberry.
What is it again? I'm sorry. I was thinking about coming.
Marshmallow cookies with coconut and strawberry.
Okay.
Sponge is good. I've
I've never even heard of it.
I kept meaning to bring them.
Yeah.
And I ate
They
them
look
all.
good.
They were at my house.
This kind or
Yeah, this kind. I got them at Walmart, and I meant
Very
to
cool
bring
looking.
these here, and I ate them all.
Sponge.
sponge? Don't mind me. Just looking at the things. Okay.
Down
Oh,
the hatch.
They got like a little sponge.
Oh, they do. There's this sponge on the
logo
bottom.
it, Yeah.
These actually do have the jelly that's on Christmas cookies
It
right
does.
in the middle.
The way you said, I expected these cookies.
Oh, these cookies.
Yeah, that is actually why you ate those.
They're so good. This is the most junk food I've had in like a month or
Girl,
more.
same.
I'll save this when we have cups, but pineapple soda.
What brand is it?
Yupinka?
Jupina.
Yupina?
Okay.
And the last thing, these was at the dollar store. I thought they were really good.
Oh, shit, I have those at my house.
So, Nutella biscuits.
John Turley introduced these to me
Yeah?
at work. And at first, I was like, I don't really care for Nutella.
Neither does Melissa.
I like it okay.
Except
Now
for
I
these.
buy these at the store every week, and I usually have a couple before I go to bed as my one treat of the day. So these are awesome.
Okay.
Love them.
Yeah, Melissa will not eat Nutella in any other form.
I have to give John Turley, Captain Gunner, credit for introducing these to me because they're awesome.
Nutella biscuits. Biscuits.
Oh, it's nice. The cookie top is like floating on top of the Nutella.
I really like these.
Yeah, this is really good. They kind of remind me of those panda cookies. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, God, the panda
yeah, they
cookies
kind
are
of
so
remind me
fucking
about
good.
that. Like, yeah.
I'm full.
Well, that's all I got. We timed
was
that out
good.
pretty well.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
That was a 5 for 6 for me.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the plantain chips, but everything else was really good. That's
Yeah.
rare.
Yeah.
That's really rare. And my mouth is still burning from the habanero pork rind a little. So
Have you been to that the Mexican ice cream shop on Southside yet? I haven't yet. I really want. It just opened. I really want to go.
what sets it apart from not Mexican ice cream?
I don't know.
Oh, so you haven't heard anything about it or anything?
I just saw it. I saw it opening. Melissa and I tried to go, but it wasn't open yet. But now it is. They're connected to Milindo.
Oh, okay.
The same people. They're just over by the shoe shop by Pepperoni's buffet over on Southside.
I don't know where
I didn't
any
know
of those
that
things
was a
are.
thing either.
Pepperoni. It's pepper. 2 words. Pepperoni pizza buffet. That replaced the cafeteria that was over there.
Oh, the whole
replaced the
house.
station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I live over there too. I don't drive there. I just go to work. You know what I mean? It's like I can literally be like, so somebody be like, hey, where do you go each week? 3 places. Really? Yeah, literally 3 places.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You've on the show on not Stitcher, not SoundCloud, but we are on Spotify, YouTube, Google Play, everywhere. Just Google
MySpace.
TADPOG. Not what did I get? What did somebody say? I'm getting Tap Dog on the YouTube on the YouTube channel. It's like, oh, so this is called Tap Dog? Nope, it's not. So do you want to send us something? You have stuff you want us to try? Do you have anything like that? Anything for a segment? You send that to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, PO Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. Or we'll be taking some more calls. You can call us at 270-883-2555. But most importantly, got that Patreon.
We do. It's patreon.com/tadpog or pisstasters.com if you're feeling
Taste the piss.
froggy and you would like to come donate money to us. We really do appreciate all the fine folks who donate money every single month. For as little as $1 a month, you can go in and look at the bonus content we have. We have some fresh bonus content coming real soon for this month. And again, we really appreciate it, but we do have a list of who we refer to as our executive producers. These are the fine folks that donate $20 or more every single month to the show, and I'm going to read those names right now. Starting with, as always, Usurper Grim, Cousin David Galino, Plinko Nick Price, Cubicle Monkey, Cthusiast Jeff Miners, Master Cycle Baron Kevin Link, Joseph Phillips, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Louisville correspondent Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl, congratulations on your marriage and your ridiculously long title. Pinball Airplane Archmage Chris Edler, we're sorry you couldn't be on this episode. Platinum member Brett Miller, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Nate from Utah, first time caller, Drinksmith Joey Webster, Dick Dougie, Derek Pope Sandwich, Cody Phillips. That's all I got. We are so grateful to all of you for your generous donations every month. Every little bit helps. And I would also like to thank, as always, the Backlog Banisher, Mr. Puzzles himself, Dane, who gives up his time each and every week to put our show on YouTube just because he wants to. And hope you all are enjoying your T-shirts. I know I'm enjoying mine. They came out really cool. Once again, big ups, big thanks to bossbattles.gg and Choctopus for handling all that. And there's still some more on the shop, bossbattles.gg/tadpog. You should be able to pick up a few shirts if you still want one. Quantities are limited, so act now while supplies last. Several weeks ago, I asked a question on the podcast. What was the significance of the numbers 3, 6, and 12 to the folks that grew up around here? And
saw an explosion of commentary on the Discord.
Finally got the right answer. It came in from Mr. Puzzles himself. He hit me up and asked me questions. I did not give him anything more than I had given anyone else, But what he did do quite ingeniously was go to the R Paducah subreddit and ask the question. And as soon as he did, somebody immediately popped up with the right answer, which he then messaged me about and confirmed.
All right.
And so he won. The answer is
It's your one phone a friend, Dane.
the answer is that 3, 6, and 12 were ABC, NBC, and CBS VHF channels in Paducah and surrounding areas before cable became an affordable option. And that was most cases that were the only
no
channels
longer
we had.
an affordable option.
Right. Those channel numbers are still valid. You can still pick up those channels over the air at those numbers. So anyway, yeah, Dane managed to suss out the answer.
I
So,
assumed he went to the metadata.
well,
I know
and the
you-
thing
I know you
is,
hid it
I
in the
hid the
metadata,
answer
right.
when it wasn't a clue. It was the answer to the question
right.
was in the metadata for the episode of Hook. And he did actually find that and post it in the Discord, which if you'd like to get in on this kind of fun stuff and talk to us, you can do it bit.ly/TADPOG Discord. I'm going to try to, I don't know if I'm going to do it tonight, guys. Dane and I owe somebody else some stuff.
Figure it out.
I've got it in here. I've got stuff I need to send to people from a big toy box. I said I was going to do it this week. I don't know if I'm going to do it this week.
Oh, is it the winner of the pinball tournament?
Yes.
Greenleaf.
Yes. Thank you. It was the winner of the pinball tournament. So there's going to be some stuff. I may pick through it tonight.
Green
I don't
stash.
know.
Greenleaf. I was
Green
thinking about
stash.
weed.
I'm going to pick out some stuff. I will get it sent to you. I promise. It's just, I don't know if I want to do it tonight. It's getting late and I'm tired.
By the time this is out, there's an episode of the Scott Pilgrim Wrap on the Patreon everybody can enjoy.
That's right. That was the new bonus content I was referring to. Tyler's got that edited, so we're going to have that out by the time, but by this point it will have been out. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any ideas for things you'd like us to do for the Patreon, stuff you'd like us to watch, play, talk about, whatever, let us know. We're always on the Discord or easy to reach. I am on there as Orumaito. We got Tyrone over here, and then, of course, Mr. Graveyard Duck himself.
Yeah,
So-
it might be different by the time you
Might be
get on
different
the
by the time, but if you want to hit us up, we're there. I think that's all I got. Is that everything for me?
I think that's it.
Okay.
So our theme song is Moves on Sycamore Drive. Under that track, found the show on TADPOG.com. Hey, guys, want to close it out?
Is your favorite cartoon character? Or a cartoon character?
Okay.
Sounds pretty good. So until next time.
Tropical. Capricorn. Ho!
That was bonkers.
Wow. Totally nuts.
Totally nuts. And now, a dramatic reading. Oh, when you walk by every night talking sweet and looking fine, I get kind of hectic inside. Baby, I'm so into you. Darling, if you only knew all the things that flow through my mind. But it's just a sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. When I close my eyes, you come and you take me. It's so deep in my daydreams. But it's just a sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. Images of rapture creep into me slowly as you're going to my head. My heart beats faster when you take over time and time again. But it's just a sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. When I close my eyes, you come and take me so deep in my daydreams. But it's just a sweet, sweet fantasy, baby.
That was creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, taken in the wrong context, that could be considered like, you know, red flag.
Yeah.
It's Mariah.
You gotta
She
choose
on
carefully
fire.
who sings it.
And how they
Robin
sing it.
Thicke ain't gonna pull it off.